Hello. That was much harder than I wanted it to be. So I'm hoping that helped. I'm not gonna do it again because no. Anyways, I'm back. I'm back. Hello. I'm back. Anyways, where were we? Biden Abbott twist their border narratives. Biden recently, first visit to Texas, overhauled his immigration plan, blah, 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 record number of migrants, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Honestly, I lost the thread of this. So, like, ooh, sorry, my bad. Literally just totally lost the thread of that with this whole quality thing I was talking about. So, anyways, um, U.S. is hitting its debt limit on Thursday. It's supposed to be an easy vote. This is supposed to be one of those things where you're like, listen, like we're not gonna be able to pay all this back, so it looks like we're gonna have to raise it a little bit. And then the Republicans are gonna say, no, don't you dare raise it. And then the Democrats are gonna say, please, please raise it because we gotta keep spending and we're not getting that money in anytime soon. And then they're gonna be like, all right, fine, I guess we gotta raise it. But there's gonna be a huge fight anyways. The real important thing here is trying to see exactly how much we're going to raise it and how we're going to start paying this back. Now, the ideal would be to tax the rich, but how do you tax the rich? You get a robust and well funded IRS. The GOP has already said that their first plan of attack is to gut the IRS, take out 87,000 employees, making it basically impossible to go after the rich because they have complicated ass tax returns, as you could tell by Trump's tax returns, which just came out a little while ago. Anyways, what is this? To avoid default, Yellen warns Congress. Key points. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that it's going to reach the statutory debt next Thursday. So, Yellen wrote that look, it's fine, but here's the thing. You prefer cutting spending. Got it. Love it. But the GOP just recently said that they prefer cutting taxes. Awesome. Great. Everybody loves less taxes. But what they didn't say is this on an ad right now? What they didn't say is that normally the way you cut taxes is by finding a way to fund the amount that you are reducing in your income. So let's think of this like a budget. Let's think of this like your personal budget, right? You have things that you need to spend food on, spend money on. My bad. You need to spend money on food. You got to spend money on your electricity bill. You got to spend money on your gas because you got to get places. And you got to spend money on your, I don't know, figure it out. Clothes? No. I don't know. But there's things you need to spend money on, right? If you don't spend money on food, you're going to die. If you don't spend money on gas, you're going to die. If you don't spend money on electricity, you might not die, but you are going to be living in some kind of like, dark ass house with no access to the internet and possibly struggling to work and or survive in the modern world. So there are some things that we need to survive and some things that we just need to continue participating in society. Um, the way tax cuts are supposed to work is that you are taking a part of your income and just saying, I don't need that anymore. I don't need that. We don't need to spend on this, right? And theoretically, what you should do is say that, hey, the money that we were going to take from this income will now be coming from this income because you still need to spend the same amount. You've just decided to reduce the amount that you have coming in. So you're supposed to come up with an alternate way of funding things. But the GOP is trying to pass a plan that says that they don't need to come up with an alternate funding method. They just need to cut taxes. However, if you want to create some kind of social plan or any kind of spending plan, um, you do have to find where that money is going to come from. There's no exception to it. Like if you suddenly want to spend on something, you can't just suddenly like make that money out of nowhere, right? But it is fine if you want to reduce your income. You don't have to figure out how to replace that. Well, if you cut spending more than you cut taxes, you won't get a deficit. So what you are saying is we should cut and cut and cut and cut, right? So less taxes, less spending, less taxes, less spending. But the problem there is that we're already underfunded as is, because we already, like, let's put it this way. In Missouri, they're talking about um, whether or not the senators should wear dresses or if they should be forced to have something that covers their elbows or their shoulders or some shit like that. Like, literally, they're debating the dress code. All right? That's dumb. That's a waste of money, right? Like, we put them in there to fix things like homelessness, Social Security, whatever. But things like cutting corporate subsidies, reforming Social Security, Medicare, reforming programs like SNAP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Great. That's awesome. Yeah. But to do those things, you need a well funded government. And if you start by cutting taxes, you can't then start cutting all those other things too. You know what I mean? Like, let's put it this way. Did you know that a universal healthcare is actually cheaper than our current healthcare plans? Like, the amount that Americans are spending on healthcare currently is more expensive than if we all just contributed a little bit in our taxes and then just had the government pay for it. And we would have the same system essentially. Maybe, there wouldn't be like, I have this insurance so I can go to every hospital versus I have this insurance so I can only go to the hospital that's 30 miles down the road. But there would be essentially just, again, just healthcare. You just walk into a hospital, get treated, and walk out, you know? And it would be paid for through taxes, right? But it is theoretically cheaper to do that than have us spend it the way we are currently doing it. But we decided not to do that because it would mean an increase in taxes. So we're not doing the math right. Is basically what I'm saying. We keep cutting the income without figuring a way to make up for that. And then we have the same problems, if not worse, because the programs are underfunded. Like, let's put it this way. You want to cut taxes, great, but we still need money. And you want to get rid of corporate subsidies, and that's great. But then again, we need a way to make sure that the actual companies that are getting these things don't get that. That's only because our current healthcare already distorts markets with things like regulations and subsidies, which if you got rid of would simplify it, meaning we don't have to do M4A. But the simple solution there is M4A, isn't it? Medicare for all? Because everything that you're talking about there just gets rid of that. Because it would not be regulated. The subsidies would be gone. The regulations would still be there, and the regulations are things we need. Because if we didn't have regulations, actually, with the regulations we currently have, the COVID vaccine is about to go up 400% in price. It's going to stop being free because that company decided that instead of making it $30, they want to make it $110. And that's our taxpayer money that funded that shit. And they're just turning around and being like, hey, listen, it's great that you guys funded this. It's great that you guys paid for the research and the development of this. But now we're just going to charge you much more for that. And that's our money. Again, taxpayer money. To a free market system instead of Medicare for all. That would be a disaster. we'd be swimming in debt in seconds. Yellen wrote that taking certain extraordinary measures is unlikely that cash and extraordinary measures will be exhausted before early June. All right, so taxes gone. Southwest. What were we talking about? The border gone. Trump 1.6 million. Did I even talk about this? We got to move on to Biden at some point, right? Let's see. How much do we have here? All right, let's see. Former President Donald J. Trump's family real estate business was ordered on Friday to pay $1.6 million for a criminal penalty for its conviction on felony tax fraud. So see, this is money that's going to the government from someone rich who lied on their taxes. And you lying on your taxes may get the government a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand. But they got 1.6 million for one guy because they just looked a little closer and said, "Hey, listen, this is how it is." Actually, you know what? You know what's really the shame here about taxes? The government knows how much you owe. Like they know what you owe them, so they shouldn't play this game where like I bet a lot of you are sitting at home right now and you're probably gonna pull up TurboTax or you're gonna pull up the Tax USA or whatever it is, and you're gonna do your taxes right for the year. Did you know that the IRS knows your taxes? You don't even. You know what? I'm gonna do you guys a favor right now. Look at this. Go to irs.gov. Whoop, my bad, not .gov. Go to irs.gov. Why is it taking me to all these places instead of irs.gov? Here we go. No, no, that's not it. Here we go. irs.gov. You go to irs.gov. You can actually go to where is it? Where is the thing? File. Right. In for individuals. But tools, right? File your taxes. You can e-file right on here. And they even have this thing where you can go to free tax file USA. You can do this. Most of you can do this. I don't know. Look at this. Choose from IRS free file. You can just boop, boop. There's like literally like an online thing. The IRS does it. It's open. You can just do it anytime you want. And on top of that, they have like services that you can find. And I'm doing a terrible job of showing you guys where those services are. But you can literally file for free. TurboTax just hides it from you. And on top of that, they sued the IRS and the federal government to make sure that they could hide it from you because that's what TurboTax does. And what I'm saying is that technically the IRS has a way of telling you directly, this is what you owe. They could literally just send you a bill every year and say, yo, this is what you owe me. And that's it. And they could do that for maybe not everybody, but they could do it for like 80% of us, right? And they just choose not to because they've basically decided that it's easier to let the free market do it. And so TurboTax can charge you $100 to basically find out what the government already knows about you and could literally just send you a bill for it. All right. And they can't do it for everybody, obviously. But for the people that they couldn't do it for, that's what we need the 87,000 IRS agents. Like, it's a complicated tax return, and it could take months to figure it all out. And hey, if you could analyze it and find this shit out, and then just send these people a bill instead of sitting there being like, oh, I found out that they were cheating on their taxes, so now I'm gonna fine them 1.6 million. Like, ugh. Anyways, but what is this? Oh, this is Santos. I forgot about this. Sorry. After this, we'll get into the Biden stuff. I promise. I think. Hold on. Yes. After this, we'll get into the Biden stuff. Yeah, because I finally whittled it all down to where just the Biden stuff.
Finally decided that it was his time to share his story. And guess how he addressed his constituents? On Steve Bannon's podcast, of course, which was guest hosted by none other than Matt Gaetz. And here is what's
what is happening?
I'm here to serve the people, not politicians and party leaders, and I'm going to do just that. I was elected by 142,000 people. Until those same 142,000 people tell me they don't want me, we'll find out in 2 years.
That's what he meant. He wants the 142,000 people that voted for him to say that they don't want him in there anymore. Oh my god. I thought it was just any 142,000. I was like, we can get that signature in like 2 days, buddy. Like, what? So he wants all 142,000 people who voted for him to ask him to step down. It's not going to happen because there's going to be at least 1 or 2 people that are going to sit there and say, hey, listen, I know that he's a dirtbag, but he's my dirtbag. I voted him in there. I don't care how much he lies. I don't care about his resume. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, who cares if those folks already called on him to resign? In that same interview, Santos fibbed a couple more times, telling Gaetz that he didn't have any preconceived notions on what committees he wanted to serve. Not true. Back in November, he broadcast to millions of New Yorkers that he hoped to serve on the House Financial Services or Foreign Affairs committees, based on his fake 14-year background in capital markets and his multicultural background. He also agreed to
What
tell
is she
Gates how he
doing?
was able to loan his
What is she doing?
campaign $700,000.
I've worked my entire life. I've lived an honest life. I've never been accused, sued of any bad doings.
Really? Well, despite his claims, we continue to get disturbing new information about his tangled web of lies. Mother Jones has new reporting on one person who may be key to unraveling Santos's super sketchy campaign finances. That person, his
Who is
campaign
it?
treasurer,
Who is it?
is named in a recent
Who is it?
complaint filed with the
Who is
Federal
it?
Election Commission,
Tell me.
alleging Santos illegally hid the source of the money that he loaned to his campaign through a straw donor scheme.
What?
Late this afternoon, the New York Times reported that additional questions are emerging about a state political action committee run by that campaign treasurer and by the congressman's sister. According to the Times, the PAC called Rise New York was apparently paying for wages and professional services for Santos's campaign staff, including his press secretary. The PAC also seemed to pay for expenditures that just so happened to take place at many of Santos's favorite restaurants and gas.
So what? It basically just paid for him to live off of for like a few months while he was campaigning. Like I get that. And it's maybe not the right use of PAC money, but like I get that. You know, it's a campaign thing, and he's just like, let me put it this way: if it were me, and I were running for Congress, right, and I was getting a bunch of fundraising money from committees and stuff, and all these people that want me to do business, I would make every lunch a business meeting, and maybe every dinner, maybe even some breakfast. I just make every meal a business meeting. Like I just sit down with my staff at a breakfast, and I'd be like, "Yep, so this is getting paid for by taxpayers, and we're gonna talk it out." And then I'd sit there and talk business because I'm one of those people that feels weird when you use taxpayer money or like government money or even like business money to do something not business related. I can't say the same for him. I don't know. But if it were me, I'd sit there and I'd be like, all right, so talk business. I'd be like, I want to see those numbers. Tell me what the polls look like.
Stations. Now, PACs are allowed under state law to give directly to candidates or to authorize committees, but they can't spend it just any way they want and in any other ways. Well, I'm joined now by David Korn, Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones and author of American Psychosis, a historical investigation of how the Republican Party went crazy. A subtle title for a subtle man. David, explain to me, because I am fascinated by, I mean, the lies are kooky and weird.
Yeah.
But the money, where did he get it?
Well, we don't know. And I have to say, having covered politics, I hate for a couple of decades, I've never seen a single congressional campaign that has led to so much investigative journalism. In the last few days, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Daily Talking Points memo, and Mother Jones, and probably others have all had very different breakthrough investigative pieces, including the one we put out today with my colleague Noah Leonard. And the money's flowing in a couple of different ways. There's the $7,000 that comes into his campaign. The Times talks about hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in possibly through an illegal outfit that he set up. There is money coming in personally, coming into the campaign. There are disbursements going out that are not identified where the money is going. And what we focused on in particular was
you were totally right. Yeah, thank you.
money in politics.
Hold on.
He and a bunch of people who he worked with at a company in Florida that closed down.
Yeah, this thing keeps turning on.
In a Ponzi scheme. Now, he was not implicated in this, but the company was. He and several colleagues there, with his treasurer from Long Island, people in Florida, treasurer in Long Island, they got together, formed a company that then tried to make money off of raising a lot of money to run against AOC in a district next to him. Now, he's running for Congress. He's a campaign treasurer, and he is still now trying to work with these people to bring in money into his own pocket. This company called Red Strategies USA is hitting up other Republicans in the New York area to get money. And
okay, so wait, so what I'm getting here is, and if somebody's getting a different thing, please tell me, because I feel like I'm lost here. So what they're saying is he petitioned a bunch of other Republicans, right, and just kind of told them, hey, help me out, do me a solid, come get me, come help me. right? What? And then they just did because he claimed he was a Republican, essentially. Because they didn't look any further into it. They just said like, all right, yeah, sure, like you're with us. I'm in. Like, is that what I'm hearing? Is that where all this money came from? Because I've been wondering the same thing. Like, where did he get all this money? He said he worked for all these people. He said he did all this stuff, but like, they found out he didn't. He probably didn't get paid what they said he did. So like, where is he getting all this money?
And it makes some, and then it suddenly stops and doesn't do anything. And we don't know why. Like a lot of his enterprises, they come and they go. And the thing is that he's claiming on his financial disclosure forms that in a period of 1 to 2 years, he made between $3.5 million and $11.5 million in income.
And this is
dividends.
after not being able to pay his rent.
They couldn't pay after he had $55,000.
No, that's hard. That's hard.
You know what? And it is against the
Do
law.
I think it's possible that they're nuclear codes? I hope not. Actually, no. I know they're not, because nuclear codes would be rated at a different level. And from what I heard, they're just classic. They could be top secret, which I cannot believe I just said that. I can't believe I just said that in a serious tone. But we don't know. We don't know. So we will know soon, because I will get to that afterwards. But for now, we're learning about Santos and his weird-ass financial situation. All right, let's see what happens.
When Gates asked him about the $700,000 that he says came from the company that paid him millions, he could not identify the source, and he made a joke that it wasn't from Burisma or China. So he is hiding the source of this income. His campaign finance filings look really dodgy, with money coming in, money going out, and at the same time, he's creating this. I don't want to call it. No, I don't know.
Is he trying to tell me that there was money laundering going on with this? Oh, why was everybody saying Trump's classified documents? All right, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's just get into it, because I'm getting lost in this. And to be honest, Santos and his money thing, it just sounds like money laundering. That's what I'm getting at. There was money laundering going on, and Santos's orders follow. Yeah, this is getting weirder and weirder and weirder. Trust me, there's gonna be some money laundering accusations coming any day now with this guy.
None of the fallout from the.
But yeah, let's get into the document. It's echoing badly. All right, you know what? I give. I've been trying to use this new mic. It's really cool. It's really awesome. But I'm gonna have to figure this out some other time. So I will change my mic real quick. It was a lot of fun, but this is probably just going to work out a little better. Mic test, 1 2 1 2. Mic test. All right. Anyways, I'll figure that all out some other time. So, what was I getting at? Right. The documents. Biden. Trump. Look, the point is, I'm not saying any of them were nuclear codes. I don't even think any of Trump's were nuclear codes. We don't have the privilege of finding that out. Why did Santos lie and say he was Jewish, gay, biracial, Goldman Sachs, Peru College, and his mom died both on and off 9/11, etc.? Bro, if I knew why he lied about absolutely everything, I think I could master the universe if I knew that kind of secret. Like, my God. But yeah, no, Santos, again, Santos is a wild card. Santos is a whole something. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted here. All right, so what I was saying is, so we don't get to know what the documents are. They are classified, which means that only certain members of Congress can figure that out. Some people may never get to find out. Like, it's just going to be one of those things where they'll declassify it when enough time has passed, when it's technically not going to destroy the integrity of the nation, whatever they want to call it. But what I can say is that it's probably not nuclear codes, just because nuclear codes are a certain level of classification that just wouldn't make sense for them to keep on them. And on top of that, if you know the state of our nuclear system, the state of our nuclear system is disgusting. Like, we haven't updated that thing in 50 60 years. Like they're using floppy disks bigger than the size of my head. All right, and that's part of the process. Like honestly, if you want to spend money on the defense and like Pentagon stuff, we should get that going again because right now, like that shit is totally off track. When this happened to Trump, they said it was nuclear codes every day, and then you'd be trying to sell them to Russia. Was the news saying that? I thought that was just memes. I didn't know that anybody was saying that seriously. Because if they were, that's really irresponsible. Like that's and again, that's irresponsible journalism. That's what that is. That's like 24/7. Like you need to have something on the news kind of shit. Because what ends up happening is because there's a need for a 24-hour news cycle, you need to amp it up as much as you can. Like, were there nuclear codes on it? Probably not. There may have been like a hint to them, or maybe like one piece that. But like, if you know how the nuclear arsenal works, you know that to actually use those things, you need like. It's stupidly antique. Like this, like we really need to update our nuclear system because it's just not working the way it is. John Oliver did a piece on it, which is like it was fantastic. He did a piece on it like a few years ago, and you can tell, like literally, again, it's a floppy disk. Like I don't know. It's like it's literally uh, like yay big. Like imagine taking one of these and trying to just like insert it into this. Literally, the computer is the size of a wall, and it does less than your smartphone does. And we're still using that is the system for launching a nuclear. And look, what I think is we should make a computer out of 100% American sourced material. Keep that computer completely disconnected from any kind of internet, anything. Have those at the base to replace the old ones. But again, they have to do a whole crazy amount of security for that. And again, even if there were nuclear codes in there, they would have been somewhat useless because we would have just changed them and we would have messed that around. But the point is that, yeah, the 24-hour news cycle made them focus on, like, it could have been nuclear codes. It could have been nuclear codes for Biden, too. I mean, we don't know. Like, we just don't know, right? And honestly, again, I think this is a problem on both sides here, okay? Like, Trump should not have taken documents home. Biden should not have taken documents home. You should not say that they are... hold on. Where's the hashtag? Here we
but
go.
It does not sound like it's an adversarial process at all. The White House said...
No, hold on. I want to find the one where he says that it was by a... Here we go.
Mr. President, okay. Classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
So
but at any rate.
Was in a locked garage.
Yes,
right.
As well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
All right, so we're going to look into more of that. But I just wanted to show you guys the short because no, your garage is not a safe place for classified documents. No, your golf course is not a safe place for classified documents. No, your house is not a safe place for classified documents. No. Like, am I fucking crazy here? No. Look, it's totally fine. All right, it is totally fine. You can totally, play it a little fast and loose here sometimes with the government. Like, I get it. You're the most powerful man on the planet, but no, classified documents do not belong at home. Classified documents do not belong anywhere except for where they are secure, and secure can not mean your garage, man. It can't mean you're safe. It can't mean you're whatever. Like, secure is at the National Archives with the librarians. And, maybe some other places that are literally kept under 24-hour guard with, like, watch and lock and key. Like this is just dumb. This is just dumb is what this is. And like, I'll put it this way. When I was working an office job, 24/7, that kind of stuff, like 5 days a week, all that crap. Not 24/7. No. 5 days a week in an office job, right? We were handling sensitive information, and that sensitive information was told to be kept in physical files and digital files. We kept the physical files in the folders at the office. But sometimes you took your laptop with you home. And then technically you were bringing the personal information with you home, and you had to be careful not to, bring it back and forth. That's different. That's different. Because it's not the same. Because, this is existing in a cloud, this is existing in whatever, you're actively working on it. I was actively working on it at the time. But if I had finished that office job, kept the laptop, kept some files at home, and just been like, messing around with people's personal information, I'd be in jail. Like, I'd be in jail for that shit. So, no. Classified materials getting handled sloppily is dumb. End of story. Does not matter who it is. Dumb. Now, I will say they handled it a little better, and we'll get into that, but dumb. Don't do it. Dumb. Dumb. It's troubling when you've seen the Hunter Biden laptop and you think this guy had access to that. Oh my god, yeah, no, I really don't want to see that. What is this? No. Hold on. All right, so we're done with that. Let's see. Congress reacts. Biden documents classified. Asset classified. DOJ. Okay. So yeah, we'll get into the DOJ, but let's get more into it. So, just for everybody who is a little lost in the story, I haven't really fully explained it, I think, but essentially, recently we found some documents in Biden's garage. Essentially, it sounds like it. It sounds like they also found some documents at an office that he used while he was vice president. When they found the documents, one of them was found in a locked closet. Don't know what that means. Don't like what that means, but locked closet. So they found some documents there, immediately contacted the National Archives, said, hey, we found these documents, here you go, then they did the same thing with the documents that they found in his garage. Boom, done. The problem is they found the first set of documents in November. We didn't hear about it till now. And then they found the second set of documents in December. And again, we're not hearing about it till now. And that's kind of not great, And I don't know why this is all being kept secret. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's going to be more documents, but, here we go. Let's do it.
And John Ratcliffe, he's a former director of national intelligence and a Texas congressman. He sat on the House Judiciary and Homeland Security committees. I set all that up
and
so people know. You understand.
Hold on. And just to close out the story real quick, now there is a special counsel that has been appointed to investigate Biden over the documents case. And that special counsel, which again, we are going to get into all this because I've got time and whatnot, that special counsel worked under Trump during his presidency. So again, we're trying to keep this as even kilter as we can. All right. Everybody's getting a special counsel. Everybody's getting investigated. It's all Gucci here.
Stand documents and classification and where things should be and where they should not be. Now we have a second box of documents. There might be more. We don't know. We'll see where this investigation goes, if it goes anywhere. Let's get your reaction to all of this that's happened in the last 48 hours.
What has happened in the last 48 hours?
Well, Dana, I think this is why, Democrats with the first batch of documents started out by saying we can't compare this between Trump and Biden. It's comparing apples to oranges. To Republicans now saying, you're right, we can't compare it. What Joe Biden did was much, much worse. And I think there's a basis for that in the fact that, when President Trump took documents, it was reported the day that he left by a former Obama official that those documents were taken. So everyone was.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I'm not sure that it is worse because, again, we've only found 10 documents so far for Biden, and we've got 356 for Trump. So let's not jump on the it's worse train already. it's easy to not notice 10 documents missing. It's a lot harder to not notice 300 plus documents missing. So that's not a very good argument so far, but let's keep going.
I was aware that those documents were at Mar-a-Lago under the purview of the Secret Service, and that those records were taken under the Presidential Records Act. He had a basis for removing documents from the White House. None of that applies to Vice President Biden, and what we're finding.
That's fair. None of that applies to Vice President. Okay, there was no reason for a Vice President to be taking those documents, and, we can't excuse that one. That's fair. That's a good take so far.
Documents that he didn't have authority to take that were.
Although again, Trump doesn't get to declassify things in his mind. There is a declassification process which he did not take. So again, let's not, all jump on the he's right, we're wrong bandwagon.
Were classified, and that he says he has no knowledge about, are being found in multiple locations now. And so no one can attest to the security of TSSCI, top secret documents, sensitive compartmented information for a period of years. So the problem.
Okay, so let's have an audit. Let's have an audit of the National Archives, and let's see what is missing. Because at this point, they should be able to just kind of go through all the archives and say, hey, we're missing all these documents, and then we can track them down. Because, I didn't even realize that there were all these many documents missing. So let's find them all. Let's find, does Obama have any? Does Bush have any? Does Reagan have some? Oh, no, Reagan's gone. Did Carter have some? I guess they're not top secret anymore. But what I'm saying is, if this is a problem, then we should also be addressing this. This is not exclusively for one side or the other. At this point, I want an audit. So did nothing ever happen to Trump? I feel like I never heard the conclusion of that story. It's still being investigated. He has his own special counsel, who he recently called a terrorist. And, well, that's all you need to know about that. No, he's being investigated. They're taking it as one step at a time, technically it became a crime to do the things he did while he was president. He actually passed a law that made it so that the penalties for taking documents and stuff like that would be much harsher. It was basically an anti-spy law. But anyways, here we go.
The Biden administration and Department of Justice has now is how are they going to plausibly bring a prosecution against former President Trump for the offenses that Joe Biden himself has very clearly engaged in as well. So I think that's my initial.
Again, by holding both of them accountable. That's the point. The law is the law. Everybody is equal. So if Trump broke the law, then Biden broke the law. There is maybe a degree of difference. Again, like I said, 300 plus documents compared to 10, maybe not that bad. But again, if you steal 300 basically blank pieces of paper and 10 pieces of paper with the secrets of the universe on it, I think one is much harsher than the other. So again, it comes down to what really is going on here. I want to rush to a conclusion just as much as everybody, but we do need some impartiality here. And the impartiality here is that it's a complex crime. It's a crime for both of them, but it's a crime, There we go.
To what's happening to this issue.
It's pretty obvious there are a lot of questions. I don't know if you go to special counsel. I don't know if the president clears this up. I don't know if there are more documents that are discovered in other places.
This is before they announced the special counsel.
Quickly.
Bill, to that point, I think that the issue about a special counsel has gone from one where it's debatable to one where it becomes mandatory. So with regard to the Penn Biden Center, what we're finding out from documents is that that deal to pay Joe Biden $800,000 by the Penn Biden Center was negotiated, at least in part, by Hunter Biden and was contemplated to include an office involving Hunter Biden. But beyond that, the discussion by Joe Biden himself was that the staff that he was bringing into that deal included current Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, current White House counselor Steve Ricchetti. So this has gone from an issue just involving Joe Biden to an actual conflict of interest involving the entire Biden White House at this point in time. So it's really beyond debate whether or not special counsel is necessary to look into this. It's absolutely required under the law at this point.
Well,
Okay, wait. So this is getting more and more complicated.
The beginning stages of this story.
Yeah, this really does sound like the beginning stages, because now they're saying that everybody is on there too. People on the left have been trying to throw Biden under the bus for a long time now. They never liked Biden. They always hated Trump. Look, the thing here is, I don't like any of them. I don't like anybody here. In the words of some famous people, I hate everybody here. You know, like, I think everyone sucks. And I'm saying Republicans and Democrats. Everybody here sucks. Right and left. And I'm not, chat, you're good. Chat, you cool. Yeah, but, like, both of them suck. All right? Republicans, I don't like Republicans just for the whole, like, you're talking about all these, like, issues that Americans are having, and then you spend your time bullshitting about, like, random stuff that has nothing to do with the issues Americans are facing. And then Democrats, I just hate because they're just gutless. Like, they'll talk about the issues that people are facing, and then they'll just back down the second there's any pressure. Like, let's put it this way. How many times has a Republican been accused of some really shady shit and then just been like, I'm going to stay here forever? Like, if Santos was a Democrat, he would have resigned. Right? Right? Like, does anybody doubt that? No. Because if Santos was a Democrat, he would have resigned, and we all would have been like, yep, serves him right, fucking liar. But since he's since he's a Republican, nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised that they're not kicking him off any of the things. Nobody's surprised that he's, possibly going to get his way onto a committee. Nobody's surprised that he's saying, I'll only resign once the 142,000 people that elected me say that I was, not their choice. And some of them have already said, hey, listen, man, like, I did not vote for you as a liar. I voted for the person I thought you were, not the person that turns out you are. But the problem here is everyone sucks, all right? Everyone. Like, nobody's working in the interest of the people, and they don't have to. They don't have to, because technically, like, the people aren't there, like, we don't, like, they don't owe anything to us. And we have let them create a system where they don't owe us anything, right? Because who's lining their pockets? Companies. Who's lining their whatever? Yeah, we should all aspire to be a Santos. My God. Just lie your way to victory. My God. But, like, when I talk about the problem with lobbyists and the problem with all these companies, like, I don't think any of us are to blame. I don't think I think what is happening is that we get this news network and other news networks, and they all start making scandals out of everything. And then suddenly we're at each other's throats sitting there being like, you're the worst thing that's ever happened to this country because you believe that, we should cut taxes or whatever. And you're the worst thing that's ever happened to this country because you want our tax money to go to XYZ social programs. Da, 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 da. The problem is we're all being tricked. Every single one of us. Like, we're all being deceived. They're just causing chaos to then just keep raking the money, right? Because here's what's going to happen, right? We're going to spend 2 years doing absolutely fuck all. All right? There's going to be nothing getting done anywhere, right? There's going to be no progress in Congress. There's going to be no progress on the president's side. There might be a presidential act or two, but bills are dead, right? Maybe we'll get some bipartisanship here and there, but it'll be because an emergency happens, all right? But other than that, legislation is dead, all right? We might get some court actions, but again, legislation is dead. And then in 2 years, they're going to come to us and say, see that? They didn't fix any of your problems. Your problems are still there, and I'm the only one that can make them go away. Vote for me so that I can make those problems disappear. And then they're going to get in there, and then they're going to do fuck all for the next 2 years again. Because that's what their job is. Their job is to get in there, make it seem like they're going to help you, rake in the dough, and then go right back to, going back. And Maybe your candidate is the candidate that stands out. Maybe your candidate is the one that is so perfect and so amazing, and they're going to break the system, and they're going to move mountains, and they're going to change the way things are done. But unfortunately, alone, they do nothing. Right? Like, the only reason we had 15 votes for House Speaker is because there were 5 never-kevers. And those 5 never-kevers literally were never-kevers. They only managed to get there because of a present vote. Anyways, sorry, I got way too into that. Point is, let's keep going on this document shit.
I would agree with that. There are a lot of layers to this, and it goes right to the West Wing.
Absolutely.
Yes, it goes right to the West Wing. I want to know who all is involved. I want names. I want names. I want dates. I want numbers.
You know, in the case of
who voted president, I think it was Gates, Boebert, and then like 3 others that are just not nearly as catchy. Hold on. Can I just type in who voted president on Speaker of the House? What up? How each speaker? This is terrible. 216, 212, 6 present. Yep, that's how it first went down. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, hold on. So if I look at the top, I think that's where I'll see it. Biggs, Boebert, Crane, Gates, Good, and Rosendale. So that's Montana, Virginia, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, and Arizona. If you're from any of those states, then you got it. You guys did it. It was you. It was you who did it. You did this. But yeah, all these people eventually went over to McCarthy. Ken Buck, Wesley Hunt missed a few votes, but yeah, essentially these people who kept voting present actually brought down the number that you needed to make this McCarthy thing happen. But these were the never-kevers. The Biggs, Boebert, Crane, Gates, Good, and Rosendale. Bob Good. That's such a good name. Oh my god. But yeah, see, like, you needed at least 5 people just to cause that kind of stall. You needed 20 people to really make it work, and that's how you got the first, few problems. And even if you get that one person that you're like, hey, they're gonna make a difference, they're gonna make things change, they're gonna they need help, they need backup, and there's only so much backup you can provide, right? You can only vote for your representative. Now, if we had ranked choice voting, that'd be different. But I'm not gonna sit here and do my ranked choice voting rant again. People have heard my ranked choice voting rant. I'm not gonna jump into that right now.
President Trump, there are very few unanswered questions with
oh
regard
yeah
to President.
oh yeah they made lots of deals, the best deals. Actually, one of the deals they made was great. God, I keep getting sidetracked. All right, fine, we'll get into it real quick. One of the deals they made was that while Kevin McCarthy is speaker, any one member of the representatives can essentially call for another vote of no confidence to kick him out of his speakership. And it can happen at any point for any reason and as many times as they want. And the Republicans were so happy about this. They were like, yeah, because at any point, if McCarthy steps out of line, we can be like, that guy's a pussy. And then they can just, call him right out and say whatever and just pull him out of there and just drag him down from his speakership. The problem is that they didn't realize that applied to every member of the House of Representatives. So any day now, the Democrats are planning to just sit there and be like, hey man, he sucks. What a pussy. And then they're going to call a vote of no confidence, and then we're just going to waste time on trying to get McCarthy out of the speakership. Like, he really, he shot himself in the foot so hard. And it's just because, he I don't know. He doesn't deserve to be up there. Does he deserve to be up there? I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, the person that is the speaker is the one that's supposed to be making all the deals. And it sounds like he was having a hard-ass time just trying to get those votes. So I am excited to see how he deals with the next 2 years. Like, it's going to be hilarious. What did McCarthy do that makes people not like him? He is just a flip-flopper. Like, he just flip-flops a lot. Like, there'll be one day where he's like, man, Trump is my best friend, and we go to everything together, and it's amazing. You know, we love this time together. Then the next day he'll be like, he caused a riot, and the traitors came, and they tried to shoot me and hang every member of Congress. And then the next day he'll be like, it wasn't that bad. People were really exaggerating. And, like, Trump's fine. He and I are best buds. And he just keeps doing that. That's his entire thing. And people just don't like that. Do a lot of other people do that? Yeah. Probably. Is there a YouTube video of him doing that? I don't know, but I kind of hope so. Remember that the Freedom Caucus wanted him to put term limits on House Representatives and Senate via the amendment process. That'd be dope. We need term limits. Some people are just getting stuck there for life. You want to talk about nepotism? Like, there's literally generations of politicians in there. Oh my god. All right, wait. So what was I gonna do? We were gonna look up Kevin McCarthy flip flop. I want to see if there's a flip flop. What? Gets the speaker's gavel. I mean, there's this. I love this. Embarrassing first week in the House. House of McCarthy. House approves rules package at center of McCarthy's speaker battle. Ooh, wait, hold on. Yeah, let's check that out too.
If hypocrisy.
We are gonna get back to the documents. I did not forget. Don't worry. I just want to see this part where he goes up to Gates, and he's like, "Hey, man, hold on." I didn't realize there was going to be no sound. Here we go. This is much better.
A really rich doctor said you were a bummer. And I think you don't know algebra. No, we're talking science, bud. The science of what? Is that a tiger? One of your friends promised me I could flick you in your face. Absolutely, you may not do that. Say any cereal name. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You're like people in the 12th century.
This is what it was like, right?
You're a formulated pickle popper.
He's a storm cloud.
I don't like
Who
you,
is that
dude.
kid?
And there's a tiger. Oh, that's it. You two guys sent the tiger.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Brad?
I'm a horrible person.
Brad, I'll report you to
Who is
Nadine.
that kid?
I just want your leg bones to be okay. I brought the tiger.
Oh,
You got
shit.
somebody on the organ now? Hey man, you're gonna pay for dinner. You're gonna pay. No.
Yeah, then that guy basically goes off and almost punches him. Actually, that is what I wanted to see. Punch on the house floor. I didn't get a chance to look at this last time. We weren't watching when it happened, and like, come on, it was so cool.
Matt Gaetz pointing right now.
See, so all right, yeah, no, that was the funny one. That was the funny one. I like the funny one, but this is the real one. Where they're just like they're talking, and then all these other representatives start coming in.
This is an incredible moment. McCarthy is now directly engaging Matt Gaetz, and
Yeah, he's sitting there like, can you stop being a child, man? Like, come on, can we just get this over with? And listen, I actually sympathize with their point of view. I know that they're the fucking nut jobs, all right? I know that, okay? I get that. Like, that has not flown over my head, all right? I know these guys are the nut jobs, but I sympathize with them on this because, yeah, there's a lot of shit that just boom and suddenly gets passed. No one talks about it. No one agrees. Nothing. It just boop and gets passed. All right. And that's not how you deserve to do this. Like, you have 400 plus members in that like House floor. You're supposed to talk about everything. It's not supposed to be like, hey, we're passing this bill. All right. Everybody vote with us or, move on. But that's what it is. Like, they're mad because Republicans and Democrats do this too. Don't kid yourself. They will literally just lock themselves up. It'll just be the leadership, like top 4, top 2, top 5, whatever it is. And it'll be leadership from the Republicans, leadership from the Democrats. They get together, they'll talk it out, and they'll craft some kind of bill. And then they'll just tell everybody in the party, we're voting for it. Or they'll say, we're not voting for it. And then they'll just pass shit along without, like, actually really talking it over. And that's how we get like 4,000 page bills that get passed from literally one day to the next. Like, no one's going to read 4,000 pages in 24 hours. You'd be, one, the world's fastest speed reader, but also you would definitely miss a few things. And probably the vote, too. So there were like certain rules that they wanted to put in there. And there are just things that, you know, we need to be able to just stop the government for a second and say, hey, this is wrong. We are doing it wrong. And as much sides, like I said, I know these guys are the cuckoo birds, all right? I know they're the cuckoos here. But I sympathize with this. On this point, I agree. This is not the way you do things. Also, I am just now realizing that that kid that came up here and was like standing next to McCarthy, I think he's literally a child. I just realized, because this is a ceremonial affair, this is just somebody's family member who just walked in there and just decided to have some strong words with Gates.
Love to get a lip reader in here, but he's got to be telling him in no uncertain terms, you are screwing this for everybody.
Yeah.
You are holding up the business of the entire United States House of Representatives based on what he's going to say is your ego.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
And to be clear, he can change his vote, right, Rick?
That's right. This has not been finalized yet. It's still possible. It looks like Patrick McHenry is trying to mediate something here. It is getting really heated on the floor.
McCarthy looks angry.
Yeah, McCarthy turns around. He's like, what's going on?
It's physical? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's follow the camera.
Yeah, please. Why did you, like, who, what cameraman did this?
Kevin McCarthy looks pretty upset.
Is this guy the one?
Saying stay civil.
Come on. Come on. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, wow. Rick, as we're trying to figure out what just happened, McCarthy taking his seat. Obviously, I can't read lips from here.
Here's this guy, right?
Language is pretty easy. And Representative Gates was just, in no uncertain terms, telling Kevin McCarthy something.
Remember that dueling was still legal when our government was formed.
Look,
honestly, yeah, punch this dude in the face. Like, punch him in the face. Look, I'm not one to encourage violence, all right? But if it'll get our government going again, punch this kid in the face. Look, what I want to see is I want to see us talk it out. Talk to him nicely, right? But if we can't do that, then at least, like, you know, you guys clearly have strong emotions. Some of these people are not emotionally intelligent enough to talk things out. Duke it out. Duke it out. Figure it out. And then walk away and say, hey, all right, I understand your point of view. I still disagree, but I understand your point of view.
McCarthy turned away, started walking back to his seat.
Here we go.
Some sort of.
Seriously, does he get hit? Does anything happen?
Stay civil. Let's bring Jay back in. Jay, what are you hearing and seeing?
Yeah, so Phil, okay, let me walk you through what happens. So the vote is over. Matt Gaetz votes present. All the votes are done. Kevin McCarthy makes a beeline up the aisle to Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert, who both voted present. And they can change their votes. And if they change their votes, that puts Kevin McCarthy.
Look at that. He's trying to intimidate the fuck out of him. He's like leaning over. He's got it right up there. He's like staring him in the face like, oh God.
For the goal line, most likely. So the conversation plays out. There's a member. It was in the corner of the frame. I couldn't make out who it was. It gets heated. Another member pulls one member back, puts his hand over his mouth. Again, I can't figure out who those two members are we're looking for. It's on the Republican side of the chamber, though. So there are two Republican members.
Wait, Jay, he put his hand over his mouth?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to grab
I think it's showed again.
That was just the hold he got or something like that, but that's what I saw play
Whoa,
out.
whoa,
Certainly,
whoa.
Not what you see.
Oh, okay. All right, handshake. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was about to get bad. All right, okay. But anyways, the House eventually ends up approving this. Are they going to talk about this? Can I just kind of skip forward? Yeah, you know what? No, it's just a minute and a half. It's just 2 minutes. We'll do that, and then back to the documents. I'm sorry I keep getting distracted.
Passed rules that will govern the operations of the 118th Congress.
This comes after a long and contentious battle over the election of now House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. CBS 4's Carly Barnett is in the newsroom to explain. Carly?
Lauren, Jen, that vote passing
Here we go.
almost along party lines, but not quite. The package passed 220 to 213. One Republican joining all Democrats against it. Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas had said ahead of that vote that he would not be voting for it. Republican Representative Dan Crenshaw of Texas, also a Republican, did not vote. Now, of course, the Republican vote won, and in what would traditionally be a pretty routine matter of business, this vote received special attention because Kevin McCarthy had to agree to a number of concessions in order to get the necessary votes to obtain the Speaker position due to hold.
Is this another child? What is happening?
So let's take a look at those. Motion to vacate. That is one of the rules, which means
one member can move to oust the Speaker. All right. So that was one of the concessions that he agreed to. So that means any one member of the House can say, get that kid out of here. All right, let's see. Judiciary Subcommittee.
Member can move to vote.
Investigates. Yeah, I'll let her say.
Speaker. A judiciary subcommittee was formed to investigate the, quote, weaponization of the federal government, investigating the FBI and Department of Justice's raid at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, for example.
Okay, fair. Yeah, if the federal government is being weaponized, I want everybody to know. Like if perhaps somebody is using the National Guard to clear out a group of protesters to walk across the street and take a picture in front of a church with an upside down Bible. You know, if someone were to do something like that, I think that might be an abuse of federal power, but you know, maybe even weaponizing it, but who knows?
Another one of those rules, the Holman Rule, allows lawmakers to use spending bills to defund specific programs and fire or reduce the pay of federal officials. And finally, final text of the bills must be made public 72 hours before they are brought to the House floor. That's a look at a few of those. Some of the other rules involve.
Sorry, wait, what was the last rule here?
Are brought to the House.
72-hour rule. I 100% agree with the 72-hour rules. Or like using the FBI to control the media and to brainwashing people to hate Trump. Look, honestly, it depends because it's also algorithmic based, you know, and like the algorithm is usually what people like is being promoted. At the same time, yeah, we've seen the Twitter files. We know that there was something going on, but this is all still just pretty basic communication between like government and media companies. Although, you know, it's kind of back and forth because again, like it's not like the Trump campaign wasn't also in contact with like Twitter. It's just they're just not. No, that's not the case because we know for a fact that they shadow ban and or hide people's content. Like that is a factual thing now. Yes. Yeah, I heard about the shadow banning. And I also disagree with the shadow banning. I get what you're saying. It's a weird line, you know, because at the same time, should a private company be allowed to do what they want with their thing? Like, let me put it this way. I think I would be more upset about the shadow banning if Twitter was a service that you paid for. Because the thing about a company where you have free access to it is that you've signed on to whatever terms of service they said that they would do. And I believe that, you know, this is not like a secret. Like it's kind of something that they... Well, I guess it was a secret, wasn't it? Because they didn't explicitly say it. But I think they did say that, like, depending on the content you post, there will be consequences. So I guess maybe they just didn't specify exactly what those consequences were. But, you know, when it's a free, when you are, all right, let me simplify this real well. When a service or a company is offering you something for free, you are the product. Okay? And it is bad for business to be extreme. Especially on social media platforms. Am I missing huge things? What do you not understand? The federal government asked Twitter to do said thing and then they paid them. The FBI and the CIA also paid for PSYOPs research. And the ability to run PSYOPs within the United States and within other countries, they paid millions of dollars for it. Well, if they were doing it in the interest of the FBI and the DOJ. Look, do we have to get into the Twitter files? Is that something that we're going to have to look into now? Because I can. We can. But again, this is stuff that Trump was doing too. Like everybody is talking to Twitter on the up and up, especially when they're that influential. Like the Republican Party also has connections to the Twitter. They were also talking it over. Twitter was obviously leaning left. That's fine. Like, you know, it is what it is. But again, it's a company that is all about like I don't know, because again, it's not free speech because it's not really free. Again, if a company is offering you something for free, you are the product. And if they can't sell that product, then they did what they do with any product that's not selling. They limited it. Because it's not Twitter's choice. I understand companies do whatever they want with their company. No, but that is the point. It is Twitter's choice. Because it's not about free speech. No, it's not a constitutional right. It's like free speech is a constitutional right. Free speech online is not. Like, you don't, like, it's a company and they have a platform. They're basically a publisher. And they decide what they publish and what they don't. And so they decided that what doesn't sell shouldn't be published. Like, I understand that it's upsetting. I understand that it's a problem. And, you know, clearly we have to do something about that kind of stuff. But again, a company cannot take money from the government to stipend free speech. It is against the law. But again, that's the question. Is it stipending free speech? Because, you know, you can also publish whatever you're publishing somewhere else. You are free to publish wherever you want. They just didn't publish it on Twitter. Right? Like, Twitter banned you, sure, but YouTube didn't. Or like YouTube banned you, but Facebook didn't. Facebook banned you, but 4chan didn't. Like, you are still free to say whatever you want, but you're not free from the consequences of saying whatever you want. Now, I don't know exactly how much money they took. Bro, no matter how much you try to do this, you're not going to square this circle. All right, let's go into the Twitter files, I guess. But I'm getting back to these documents one way or another. Boop, 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 boop. Twitter files. Twitter files. Did every conspiracy theory about Twitter turn out to be true? Let's check that one out. Because again, I just don't know enough about it to really figure this out. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Is this just part one? I don't want just part one. Report explains. You know what? We're going to get rid of this one. We're going to get rid of this one because I think this one might be the best.
Hi.
It's a Cold Fusion video. We'll see what's going on.
Cold Fusion.
God, this is 20 minutes long.
Twitter seems to be in chaos. After this
okay.
Elon Musk has flipped the house upside down. He fired the CEO, CFO, and head of policy while also disabandoning the board of directors. And that's just the start. Next, he went after the employees, firing close to 50% of total staff. And for those remaining, he issued an ultimatum: either work insane hours or quit. Lawsuits were filed, advertisers left, and the future of the site became unclear. This is perhaps the first time that we get to see the inner workings of a CEO publicly trying to figure out how to run a large and influential company in real time. Since the peak of his wealth, Elon has lost $200 billion, becoming the first person to do so. He also claims to be in danger after revealing ties between the FBI and Twitter. So what is going on here? It's now 20.
I mean, again, yeah, no, if that is what I would do, like, I'd be in danger too. Like, shouldn't do that. See, attention Twitter employees. All employees must work 80 hours per week for the same pay, and anyone who makes fun of me or hurts my feelings will be fired. Elon Musk. Okay, let's just keep going.
So let's recap.
This goes to show you whoever's controlling the narrative is more wealthy and powerful than the richest man in the world. Who does control the narrative? I mean, that's a good question too, isn't it? Like, it's... all right, okay. Let's keep going. I don't want to get lost in this. We're already on a tangent here into the Twitter files, so let's just do it so that I can finally get back to the classified documents.
Cut the chaos and take a look at what's happened since. Is Twitter really on a collision course with bankruptcy, or is it gaining a fresh start?
Sorry, this guy just talks slow, so we're gonna
drama, lawsuits, and a lot of tweets to try and figure this out.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
We're gonna speed this up a little bit. He just talks slow. It's not his fault.
Only having a fraction of the users of Facebook, Instagram, or even Snapchat. Over the years, it has become one of the most influential platforms for real-world discourse. Billions of dollars can be lost over a single tweet. Grassroots movements can be started over a single tweet. The lives of public figures can be altered over a single tweet. However, due to a smaller user base, Twitter has largely been unprofitable, having only 2 years of profit in the past 10 years.
I just realized that the subtitles can't keep up.
The issue by any means that they could. They purchased many companies, such as Vine and Periscope, and added a few new features to the platform. The results were mixed at best. and the company may have been facing bankruptcy if nothing changed.
What was
This is the
Periscope?
point where Elon gets involved in the company. He was always a big Twitter user and a substantial Twitter critic. Yet things quickly changed as he got invited to join the board of directors. Leaked text messages showed that Jack Dorsey, the founder and former CEO of Twitter, was very fond of Elon. Jack wrote to Elon, quote, "You care so much, get its importance."
And then he made
it does help
Mastodon.
in immeasurable ways.
Ah!
Jack Dorsey had told Musk the previous year, when he was still CEO of Twitter, that he wanted to give Musk a seat on the board, but they refused, citing that Musk would be too much of a risk. Yet just as Dorsey was beginning to celebrate, Musk screwed the whole thing up. He criticized Twitter publicly, and Parag Agrawal, the then current CEO of Twitter, sent Elon a tense message. Quote, "You are free to tweet, 'Is Twitter dying?' or anything else about Twitter, but it's my responsibility to tell you that it's not helping me make Twitter better in the current context. Next time we speak, I'd like to provide you perspective on the level of internal distraction right now and how it's hurting our ability to do work." Musk seemed to take this message to heart, replying harshly, quote, "What did you get done this week? I'm not joining the board. This is a waste of time. We'll make an offer to take Twitter private." This was a very unexpected U-turn. Elon began soliciting bankers and other tech billionaires for cash to finance the takeover. In the following weeks, Musk announced the restructuring plans that, according to his estimates, would quintuple Twitter revenues by 2028. While everything seemed to be going according to plan, on May 13th, Musk halted the deal, citing more bot activity on the site than he was first told about. Some argued that this might serve as a pretext for Musk to bargain for a lower price, or exit the deal altogether. After all, he was paying a huge premium for a stock in a declining market.
On the
12th of July, Twitter sued Musk, essentially forcing him to complete the agreement. The move seemed to work, as on October 4th,
We're only 5
Elon
minutes in. This is a
proposed the
20-minute
completion of
thing.
the deal
So
before the beginning of the trial, scheduled for October 28th. And so, after months of back and forth, Musk was the majority owner of Twitter, and yet the drama had only begun.
all right. So I remember all this. This is how he got to purchase it. This is how this all happened. I just want to see if we can skip forward a little bit. Twitter now asks some fired workers to please come back. Yeah, okay, all right. I get that. I get all that. We're just going to skip forward a little bit past all the Twitter debt and value. What is this?
Where, quote, "You have to pay a tiny amount to register your message on the chain, which will cut out the vast..."
He wanted to make this... What? Hold on.
To rely less on advertisers, Elon has been trying out different strategies. Many of them were scrapped even before being implemented. Such was the case with transforming Twitter into a blockchain-based platform where
He wanted to make crypto
you have to pay
Twitter.
a tiny amount to register your
Like real
message on
crypto
the chain,
Twitter.
which will cut out the
shit.
vast majority of spam and bots. There is no throat to choke, so free speech is guaranteed. End quote. One particularly interesting conversation happened between Elon Musk and none other than Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam was willing to finance Twitter for $5 billion if Musk agreed to let him, quote, "do the engineering for the social media blockchain integration," end quote. In light of recent news and an arrest, it seems that Twitter dodged a bullet by rejecting this idea. As far as ideas that
You know, it actually wouldn't be that bad of an idea. It's not great, but
did become a
not bad.
reality, Musk asked users to pay an $8 a month subscription fee if they wanted to keep their verification. This was supposedly to cut out spam and ensure legitimate use on the platform. But many thought that this method was heavy-handed as it crippled the functionality of other users.
Part of what I'm trying to achieve with this sort of enabling everyone to be payment verified with Twitter Blue is to try to get as many people payment verified as possible. It's only $8 a month. Net effect will be over time that the verified users will pretty much always be at the top of comments and search,
Okay.
and you won't really
I'm not
see,
verified.
You have to scroll far to see the unverified users, which will be the bots and trolls and whatnot.
From a strictly financial view, the move made sense. Since there are more than 420 million verified users, even at a low conversion rate, this new income stream could have made a difference to the bottom line. However, the launch was a complete disaster. Elon didn't foresee human nature. Possibly due to reduced or non-existent teams to control the
Yeah.
rollout, the feature became a tool for mass impersonation.
Yeah, it did.
At first,
That's
it was funny
hilarious.
to watch the chaos online as more people started joining in on the trend, impersonating Mario, Pepsi, and some very recognizable people and companies. Before long, the trend ended up causing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
There was
Wait,
one very
where
famous
was it?
example. The stock
Yeah.
of
Eli Lilly got fucked here.
Lilly & Co., a huge pharmaceutical company, flash crashed due to a troll impersonating their account, letting people know that insulin was now free.
Yeah.
The real
They wrecked Eli Lilly with that.
account of the company.
It was totally human nature. Like, you also got to think about Occam's razor, all right? Sometimes the simplest answer is the right answer, which is that people are just fucking having a great time with this. Like, you give people the ability to play pranks like this, yeah. Oh, yeah, come on. Like,
Had to quickly
everybody
come
would
out
jump
and
on that
clarify
boat.
that the other tweet was a troll. Although some say that this was well deserved for the company, it became clear that if this trolling reached the sphere of politics or even geopolitics, the consequences could be less amusing. After the chaos, this method of verification.
There were 100 impersonators on day one. That's so low. I thought it was going to be so much more than that. And again, because it's funny. It would have, like, that's the easiest way to jump on there. That is not high. That's not high at all. 100 impersonators for something that has, like, look at this. There's just 70K that like this. 100 is nothing. Why would you think it was going to be more than that? Are you not intelligent? Because people thought that was fucking hilarious. That's why. Like, yeah, I'm surprised I didn't jump on this bandwagon. Like, that was hilarious. Did you see how many Elon Musk accounts came out? Like, yeah, everybody would jump on that. That's hilarious. Like, when they said it was human nature, it's because it's human nature to be a troll. Didn't you just say you came from, you know, calling out a femboy and making him cry like a little bitch? Like, you love that shit too. You just didn't do it for, you know, this time. You would have done it too. Which people, Twitter Blue shut down before anybody even knew about this. It did not. Buddy, the internet moves so fast. Like, people found out about it within hours. They were starting to do this. Shut down in like a few hours after launch. All right. Let's keep watching it. Let's see, because it did not go out in a few hours. It was there for
Musk would
days.
also clash with Apple,
at
which he
least.
accused of trying to
You know what?
sabotage.
Hold on. Twitter Blue available. Twitter Blue's still available. The fuck? Twitter Blue launches Monday. This is December 10th. Alright, that was great. But before that, I don't want to disable my ad blocker. Elon Musk launches Twitter Blue. That was the other one. Twitter Blue to relaunch with the actual verification process. Alright, how long was Twitter Blue available originally? Can we start there? My God. So I'm telling you, it was not a few hours. That was definitely up for like a day or two, at the very least. And that's plenty of time for people to make a huge problem out of that. How could there be a coordinated attack? All anonymous decide to undermine the launch of the service. It's called activist organizing, bro. Look, it's not activist organizing. It's just a bunch of dumb kids having fun. It takes like 2 seconds to make an account, and then you just add some payment information to it. You could use a gift card for it, and then boom, you're done. You're off to the races. More than 90 days ago, can sign up for Twitter Blue, confirm their phone number. See, they didn't add this part originally, the 90-day thing. So people were just making new accounts and just getting them verified. Same with this confirming their phone number thing. Like, it was hilarious how it came out at first. But I don't know how long it was out for.
Contemplated the idea of building his own smartphone.
Kids who can figure out the inherent flaw of the system on day one of it being launched. Absolutely. Bro, absolutely. Especially with the internet being a thing, they can figure that out in 10 seconds. They probably even found out on Twitter immediately. Like, it takes 2 seconds to figure out the flaw in a system like that. And look, I'm not saying that they all planned it out at first, but I'm saying they saw one account that was botted and then said, oh shit, that's hilarious. It's assuming it's not the CIA or government doing this. I bet you're one of those people who thinks the CIA does nothing all day and doesn't actively run psyops and counter. No, they definitely do that all the time, yeah. They do that all the time. You can just look at MK Ultra and shit. Like, they're constantly doing that. The question is it worth it for them to just fuck around on social media and prank people, or is it more likely that kids are doing that and having fun with it? Like, one of them involves lots of money and lots of complicated operations. The other one is a bunch of kids found out in the internet and then just jumped in and did whatever. Like, you can get into all the deep dive or whatever, but again, like, I know the CIA is doing shit behind everyone's back. I'm from Colombia, man. The CIA did a whole bunch of shit in my backyard. All right? Like, I know what the fuck is going on with the CIA. What I'm saying is, one thing is just fucking around, and the other one is this. When I was a kid, I had rats and clients for a video game I helped develop. Why? Wait, what do you mean by rats? RATs? Like, what do you... Elaborate on that. In a way that doesn't incriminate you. No, all companies hate Elon because it was Elon who allowed them all to get impersonated. Yeah, but that's an Elon problem. That's not a CIA problem. Like, the CIA didn't have to get involved in that. Elon shot himself in the foot with that. Like, that's what I'm saying. It is much simpler to let these people just get shot in the foot than going through this complicated operation to try to take that down. And yeah, please, like, in a way that doesn't incriminate you. Please don't incriminate yourself on my stream. But, you know, at the same time, I am curious.
Understanding and had been resolved. EU regulators are looking at the situation closely, as Twitter no longer has a data protection officer, putting it in violation of the GDPR standard. Cutting down on moderation staff also doesn't help with EU regulators. Twitter has also disbanded their Brussels office due to concerns over if the company would be able to abide by EU rules. There's also a bunch of new feature ideas that are being thrown about. To name a few, making the algorithm open source, dividing Twitter into different tiers, and giving priority ranking to tweets. There's also talk of the relaunch of Vine, and a feature that allows users to pay to talk to celebrities.
Alright, okay. Out of this, let's see. Definitely make the algorithm open source. I don't know about dividing Twitter into tiers. That's just going to make things weird. Give priority ranking to tweets? Sure. I mean, I don't know. This just seems like it's going to open up to people being like, it's rigged. But if you make the algorithm open source, we can all see what's going on, and then no one's going to start, you know, questioning like, oh, why is my tweet getting shadow banned? Like, you can just see the algorithm and you can know. You know? So I would definitely make the algorithm open source. At the very least, then you know what's going on behind the scenes. You're not having any questions, anything like that. All these other ones, I don't know. I don't know enough about this. Relaunching Vibe. Did he misspelled that? I'm not gonna jump on that. Give him priority. I don't know. Maybe these two. I have a real complicated plan to make Twitter work. Are you ready? One person, one account, can say whatever they want. All tweets treated equally. How do you verify that it's one person? Real complicated. I know. Some kids are really smart and technical. Yeah, how do you verify it's one person?
It was also announced that long-form tweets would be available.
Email? No. Credit card? No. Oh, so what? Driver's license? You trust Twitter with your driver's license?
Features include bold, underline, and italic font choices. One concept that's been particularly underlined by Musk is the concept of transforming.
You don't have more than one credit card? You don't have a gift card? That you can't go to CVS and buy one of those gift credit cards that are like Visas? Like, people use those all the time. Credit cards are not a good way to verify one person. I mean, they work in most cases, but you can still make multiple accounts. Like, it doesn't stop you from making multiple accounts. It's just an easy way for you to verify that there is payment. Yeah, on a bank statement with a credit card that you have, but I'm talking about the gift cards at a CVS. They are Visa. You can buy them for whatever. You refill them. They're like little refillable cards. You can use those too. And they use those all the time. What I'm saying is that the system that you were talking about is still exploitable. Like, you think that people with credit cards don't somehow make multiple accounts? Yeah, it's shaky ground, man.
X app. Think of it like a web.
IP address, VPNs.
And WeChat. It would offer services such as messaging, social networking, peer-to-peer.
I got a VPN. I could be in like 6 different IPs.
Quote, I think there's a real opportunity to create that. You basically live on WeChat in China because it's so useful and so helpful to your daily life. And I think if we could achieve that, or even close to that, with Twitter, it would be an immense success. End quote. The big reason that Musk is running after this idea is simple. WeChat makes a lot of money by simply taking a small cut out of all the transactions that users make. At a reasonable volume, this becomes a very lucrative business. Yet the success of the plan would fully rely on the confidence that people have in posts on social media. This is one of the main reasons that super apps work in China, as 58% of users trust content brand posts on social media. In the United States, this figure is only 20%, and this puts the whole plan into question. The Twitter Files saga was a politically charged...
Okay, here we go. The Twitter Files. Yeah, I was just looking at China. That shit was wild.
dramatic reveal of the behind-the-scenes workings of Twitter. Elon Musk began to reveal them to the public in early December. The topic began with the suppression of a story regarding Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who left his laptop at a repair shop. According to the New York Post that broke the story, the laptop included unsavory images of illegal activities, emails hinting at possible corruption, and much more. This all blew up on Twitter 20 days before the 2020 election, and it was immediately crushed by Twitter themselves. In December of 2022, Elon Musk and journalists Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss released documents of the internal happenings at Twitter during the peak of the Hunter Biden story. The release largely didn't paint Twitter in a positive light. The second leak suggested that a secret group at Twitter who were high up in the chain of command, such as the head of legal and the head of trust and safety, made decisions behind everyone's back without overview, and these decisions were in regards to moderating Twitter. Certain trend topics were blacklisted, certain topics weren't allowed to go viral. Since then, multiple Twitter files have been posted detailing the alleged shadow banning of right-wing personalities and internal communications when Trump was banned from Twitter. And here comes the controversy, because people on the right say that this was a smoking gun and the trust and safety team at Twitter were essentially the ones running the show, while people
I agree.
People on the left say that there's really nothing to see here. Some more Twitter files claim that up to 80 FBI agents were being deployed as a form of mass surveillance on Twitter. A Twitter executive confirmed and described how they gave data to the FBI. It was also claimed that there are multiple branches of the US government involved in social media manipulation and surveillance.
And now to the latest batch of the Twitter files. The 9th installment claims both the FBI and CIA have moderated content on the social media platform. The documents, which were released...
Okay. Hey, listen, I'll admit it. I was wrong. CIA, FBI got involved. They were messing with the moderation. I'll admit it. That's a me bad. I didn't see, well, I guess I did see it coming. But at the same time, I will throw this in there that so is every other government and so is every other secret government. What is this about? Look up the leaked Poroshenko phone call from Biden when Biden bribed the sitting president of Ukraine with like $100 million. Biden literally told him to fire a key member of the government, attorney general, and he did it. Yeah, that key member of the government was a corrupt attorney general, right, who was being actively investigated for corruption. And what Biden said was, we can give you this money, but he cannot be a part of the government. And it makes sense because, again, that money was going to be spent by a corrupt politician. He said, hey, he is being, like, he's actively corrupt. He has to go. So, again, I don't really consider that one a bribe. But, call it what you will.
Released on Christmas Eve in a series of tweets are part of owner Elon Musk's effort to document how the company was run before he took over.
Twitter files all revolves around alleged communications and coordination between Twitter and other government agencies, including the FBI. Independent journalist Matt Taibbi is the one behind this latest Twitter thread that was posted.
Look, let me put it this way. Sounds like a bribe between smart men to me. Like, it could be a bribe, yeah. You could totally say that. Because, again, what it was basically saying is, I will give you this money if you do this for me. So, yeah, you could say that that's quid pro quo. Yeah, that's fair. I'll agree there. I will say that all of these money things usually come with conditions. And I don't know if this was a condition that was agreed upon beforehand. But I do remember that, again, we're talking like what is that, 6 years back. Usually I don't cover topics that didn't happen since I started streaming, but we'll go into it. I think that thing with Poroshenko, it ended up being Poroshenko, Biden, attorney, AG, whatever. Let's do that. Ukrainian lawmaker releases leaked phone calls. Biden and Poroshenko, blah, 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 blah. That was a long time ago. No, don't tell me I have to do this. I don't want to do this. Forget you. Washington Post. How about this? Aha. Nope. It's gone. Wait, hold on. This is what I was talking about. You guys kept distracting me from this. Hold on. Republicans launched an investigation of Biden's handling of classified documents. It's happening. That's today. That's right now. That was 20 minutes ago.
When Vice President Biden left office, it looks like he took classified documents with him, and he was very critical of President Trump. By the way, the only person that has the constitutional ability to declassify any documents is the President of the United States, not the Vice President. So if then Vice President Biden took classified documents with him and held them.
I can't believe you guys were about to get me on the Poroshenko fucking thing. Like, real quick, there were conditions attached to the money. There's always conditions attached to the money, and you should all know that, all right? And with the FBI and the CIA and all that shit, again, it's not a surprise to me that they were on social media. It's not a surprise to me that they manipulate social media. That is actually very, very on par with what the CIA does. There should be transparency in government. There is no transparency in government. That needs to change. Okay? I will agree with you all that Twitter was basically being corrupted by the FBI and the CIA. I didn't use Twitter, so I don't know to what extent it was manipulated or not. What I will say is that on the social medias I've seen, there is some biases going on, but then there's also refuges. There's echo chambers for everybody, right? And so as long as you are not sticking your head into an echo chamber and just yelling back at yourself, I think you're going to be all right. Just what I say is keep an open mind, be open to change. I'm open to change. I'll agree with you guys. The FBI and the CIA got involved. They were fucking around with the documents. They shouldn't have been doing it. We will go back to that. Do I just have to finish that out before I get to this? I can't believe we missed this. All right. But just to wrap it all up, manipulating social media is not great. But again, we're in a digital age. We don't have laws for a digital age because our government is stuck in the paper age. All right, we're stuck basically in the Stone Age trying to figure these things out. We're hammering out in rules that should have been hammered out years ago. The Santos Act is supposed to come out, which basically says you can't lie to get a position in government. Why did that take so long? Why is this the first time it's coming out in 2023? We're stuck in rules that were made for a time 100+ years ago, and we got to work in the now. And there are no rules on social media because everybody up there is an octogenarian. They're walking around in crutches and shit, and they don't know what to do about digital problems like this. Like, let me put it this way. At some point, we will probably look at what the FBI and the CIA did, and we will condemn it for a gross violation of our liberties, right? Just like we did with the NSA, right? Right? Because we totally held the NSA accountable when we found out that they were spying on all of our phones, right? Of course we did. Right. But my point is, we need to hold the government accountable. We need transparency in government, and we need a way for this to be resolved in a timely and efficient manner. So I'm not going to go back to the Twitter files because I know that you guys all just want me spiraling into Twitter files and all this other crap. We're here for the documents. Okay, I don't have time to spiral into Twitter files and all that other business.
Years and criticized former president.
All right, hold on. Let's start over because I totally forgot.
Trump
got stun locked there,
during that
buddy,
same
guys.
years, when Vice President Biden left office, it looks like he took classified documents with him, and he was very critical of President Trump.
Yes, he was.
The only person that has the constitutional ability to declassify any documents is the President of the United States, not the Vice President. So if then Vice President Biden took classified documents with him and held them for years and criticized former President.
This is awesome for the Republicans, by the way.
During that same time that he had those classified documents, and only after it was uncovered Did he turn them back? I wonder why the press isn't asking the same questions of him as vice president taking classified documents that they were asking President Trump.
This is Republican hypocrisy at its finest. When
Is this the
former
response?
president had 320 documents found at his personal residence, they said that, quote, that will not be a priority. What President Biden did was disclose this to the archives, let law enforcement know. That is exactly the way that you should handle this. So we're going to support the fact that the president is following this established protocol, that he did the right thing, and see what other.
Okay, so what they're saying is he broke the law, sure, but at least he called the cops. This is actually a tip I heard from a prison warden. I'm not going to say how that I got that story, but this is a tip I heard from a prison warden. If you commit a crime and you call 911, they won't get you in trouble. Now, this does not apply to every crime, but I will give you guys this advice. If you commit a crime, and by a crime I mean something like, I don't know, there's nothing that I want to actively encourage you to do here. So let's say you commit a crime that results in the destruction of some property. Okay? What you do is you call 911 and you say, hey, there's been some property destroyed here. Da-da-da. They come, they check it out, they go, wow, you're right, there is some property being destroyed here. They fix the problem, they go away, and you get to just kind of be like, great, thank you. Done. So what they're trying to say is that Biden may have broken the law, but at least he called and said he was sorry. Investigate. Investigate. Find the truth. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You know, like obviously we're talking about some documents. I don't know which one's important. I don't know if he picked 10 documents that mean nothing. I don't know if he picked 10 documents with the most important shit ever. Just investigate it. Just look into it and just tell me what happened. And that's all I want. Do I want another 8-hour interview about Benghazi? No. But if one of those documents is about Benghazi, then here we go again. Boys, buckle up. Like, come on, let's go.
And see where we go from here. But we're not interested. Republicans aren't interested in having meaningful oversight. They're just interested in opposing this president.
Okay, no, actually, I'll agree with them there. There is a good chance that this is mostly just Republicans wanting to rip down Biden more than they actually want accountability in government. I'm not going to say that that's everything that they want, but like, come on. Which are technically not supposed to be here, which I understand usually can have a penalty of up to 5 to 10 years per document. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're saying, Biden, good job for, you know, doing whatever. Let's see, what does this say? Trouble for Biden, fairness and double standards. How Biden, what? What is this? How his debacle became a liability?
At an office President Joe Biden used in the interim.
Yep. It was an office that he used. Was it between being vice president and president?
When he was vice president and when he was elected president.
Shit. He's fucked.
This discovery echoes.
Like, they're never going to let this go.
More than 100 classified documents seized at Mar-a-Lago. But
again, I will say there is a difference between 300 plus and 10. If they find more, there will be less of a difference, obviously, but math is not on his side. What I will also say is it depends on what's in those documents. Okay, so let's not get lost here in, like, you know, all the bullshit here. Depends on what's on those documents. Like, some of them are super classified, some of them are not. We got to see what's going on.
There are key differences between those two cases. In the Biden case,
here's the thing. If Trump has 300 plus documents of signatures from foreign dignitaries, it's weird, but it's not like the end of the world. I mean, could he use it for identity theft? Sure, but like, what are the odds of that? That's weird. That's a wild accusation to throw around, right? On the other hand, if he has 300 plus documents detailing America's national defense system, like, you know, that's not great. have a memo stating which documents he declassified and it was taken with him? No. I don't believe that that's a thing. I can see if he has a memo. Trump's memo for documents. Let's see if anything pops up. The memo. That's wrong. It's wrong. Sit. No. No. How did Trump declassify the docs? Okay. We're getting somewhere. I guess it's New York Times. I don't know about that. Politico. Okay. Fact checker. All right, so let's start with the fact checker. Fact check explores presidential authority to declassify more than 2 months. Blah, 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 blah. Trump added the confusion when he said there doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it. I remember this one. What do you mean how he was president? Okay. Most national security legal experts dismiss the foreign president's suggestions that he could declassify documents simply by thinking about it, but as 17 explains, legal guidelines support his contention that the presidents have broad authority to formally, quote, formally declassify most documents that are not statutorily protected while they are in office. Okay, the system of classifying nationals is largely a bureaucratic process. Makes sense. Whose release could cause the country harm. The government has, however, prosecuted cases for both mistaken and deliberate mishandling of Under the U.S. Constitution, the president is given broad powers to classify and declassify. Okay. Some secrets are handled separately. So nuclear secrets are handled separately. So if there are nuclear secrets, then that is not a president thing. Apparently that's not the president alone. They also require some other branch agencies and whatnot. In all cases, however, a formal procedure is required so governmental agencies know with certainty what has been declassified and decisions memorialized. Federal Appeals Court in 2020, Freedom of Information Act case, New York Times versus the CIA. The fuck? Hey, good to see you. Underscored that point. Declassification cannot occur unless designated officials follow specified procedures, the court says. Okay, so there was a recent court case that just said you have to follow procedures. You cannot declassify them with your mind. So now the question is, did Trump take official procedures to declassify documents? You know what would be really interesting, actually? Hold on. I'm going to try this out real quick. Maybe I should try this out. No, you know what? Let's do it. Let's open up ChatGPT real quick. So ChatGPT, for those of you who don't know, is an AI that essentially... could I just log in? Would that be wild? That essentially does not work on here, apparently. Great. Wonderful. I'll ask it that later. But ChatGPT is essentially an AI, and it answers pretty much any of your questions that you want. It's actually really fun to use. Anyways, let's see. Can a president declassify powers? It doesn't say anything. Oh. Okay. So Trump's dubious standing order to declassify documents. Here we go. This, I think, is the memo you're talking about. After the FBI searched his Mar-a-Lago home and retrieved some of the documents, some of them labeled top secret, he released a statement claiming that as president, he had a standing order that documents removed from the Oval Office and taken to the residence were deemed to be declassified the moment he removed them. Numerous experts on national security and the law surrounding classified documents say this isn't plausible. Okay. And in any case, whether some of the documents are classified, as many of them were marked, may be irrelevant to the criminal investigation since none of the 3 criminal laws cited as the predicate for the search warrant required documents to be classified for a violation to occur. Okay, so what they're saying is they can raid him because it doesn't have to be classified. They can just jump in and, take it because it's not his, essentially. I don't know. I'm guessing it had to do with the fact that he said he returned everything, but they had information that he hadn't. So let's keep going. The fact that Trump may have been holding classified documents have raised the stakes of the investigation, and it has also raised questions about the scope of Trump's declassification powers. Okay, but regardless, Biden does not have any declassification powers. Okay, so let's be clear with that. The procedure is far more formal, said Immerman, who is now a historian at Trump. Further, he had issued a standing order. It surely would have been leaked by someone and then challenged. Documents must be declassified page by page. In fact, if top secret, confidential information, sensitive compartmentalized information. Sorry, I should have just read that. Line by line, the document then is marked declassified by the authorizing agent. Consequently, former President Trump's claim to me is impossible. Okay. Almost certainly a lie, says Bolton. My gosh. Whether documents were classified may be irrelevant. All right, this is what I'm interested in. Because if they are irrelevant, then what is he being charged with? So, according to property receipt records, blah, 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 3 sets of records labeled either confidential document, miscellaneous confidential, miscellaneous secret. Okay? And 4 that were miscellaneous top secret documents. Not great. Not great. Miscellaneous classified top secret sensitive compartmentalized information. Also not great. Again, I don't know what it is, what they found. It's a lie, okay? Listen to us. Let's keep going. So, top secret is the highest level, blah, blah, blah. According to Executive Order 13526, issued in late 2009 by Obama, confidential is the lowest category of classified information currently in use. Okay. Information whose release would cause serious damage is classified secret. And top secret. Okay, got that. We still don't know the content of the documents, but their classification may be irrelevant. None of the 3 laws were for the search and seize warrant. Okay. The warrant cited Section 2071 of the Title 18, which relates to someone who willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, falsifies, or destroys a government record. Okay. Well, okay, so Biden didn't unlawfully... Well, no, he did unlawfully do it, but I don't know if he willfully did it. Maybe he willfully did it. So I guess that one applies. Yeah, okay. Which relates to someone who knowingly alters, destroys, mutilates, conceals, covers up, falsifies, or makes a false entry in any record, document, or tangible object with the intent to impede... Oh, wow, this is a lot. Hold on. Obstruct or influence the investigation of proper administration, blah, 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 which is part of the Espionage Act that deals with gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. Okay, so basically, you can't cover up that you took it, you can't take it, and you can't possibly gather and or transmit defense information. Classification is irrelevant. Government documents that pertain to national defense may not be withheld from the government upon request for return. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that apparently the crime that Trump committed wasn't so much having these documents, but he was asked to return them and then didn't. And that is what the search warrant is saying. That they asked him for those documents and he did not give them back, and then they had to go and take them back. And if that is the crime, then technically Biden just gave it back. The crime of keeping them in an unsafe place, I think is definitely applicable to Biden, though, because, again, he even admitted, I kept them next to my Corvette. Like, what the fuck was he thinking? Is this? Is this when he says that I could declassify the documents by thinking about it? Oh, hold on.
Said on
I just want
Truth
to hear him say
Social
it.
a number of times you did declassify.
I did declassify, yes.
Okay. Is there a process? What was your process?
We now know there was a process. We looked it up.
There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. You know, there's different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
Oh, look, yeah, look, he shouldn't have gone with the garage excuse. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. Like what? Like the old man's going senile. God damn. Government classification in the Mar-a-Lago documents. All right, so I think we've gotten to the presidential power to declassify things. So apparently, presidents have a power to declassify things. There is a procedure that needs to be followed to do that. So technically, the documents Trump had were not declassified. Even if he had a standing order or whatever, like it just doesn't work that way. He has to go through the procedure. Biden was not president when he took those documents. He had to have been vice president. Why were they in his garage? Why did he keep them next to his Corvette? Why would you even admit to that? Like, why are you being dumb here?
There were what the White House described as a...
All right, okay, hold on. Chunk.
Documents were discovered at an office President Joe Biden used in the interim between when he was vice president and
drop
when
some
he was
frames.
elected president.
I might drop more. My bad.
This discovery echoes the findings of more than 100 classified documents seized at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
But there are key differences between those two cases. In the Biden case, there were what the White House described as
I hear you guys.
a small number of classified documents in a locked...
By the way, if you guys want to use some fun emotes, I've also got some fun emotes underneath me somewhere. They're like 7TV stuff. All you gotta do is type the thing in the same way that it shows up, and then you guys get those emotes. A lot of fun.
Closet at the Penn Biden Center. They were
I don't remember what they are, though.
Immediately turned over the next day to the National Archives. In Trump's case, though, the National Archives had sought the return of more than 11,000 documents.
That's a big difference, guys. You all had me thinking it was 300. What are they saying 11,000 for? Yeah. Whew. All right. Still not good. I don't know what was in those 11,000. I guess if out of 11,000 you missed 300, it's kind of okay. I don't know. Is it really okay? Like, are we really going to throw the whole government into chaos over this shit? Probably.
For as long as he had left the administration in January of 2021, the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago in August of 2022 and found 11,000 documents and included among them more than 100 classified documents, which raised...
Okay, so this is the problem. The problem is that they asked for those documents back and did not get them. The problem isn't that they, had whatever else they were talking about. The problem is this. They had 11,000 documents. They asked for them. They didn't get it back. That's why they did the warrant. That's why they raided. Like, that's why there's not going to be a Biden raid, is because Biden's just going to go through everything and hand it back, because that's what Democrats do. Like, that's just what they do. Like I said, if Santos had been a Democrat, he would have resigned the same day they found him out. All right? But he's not, and so he's going to stay there until someone says that he's not good enough.
These questions about what secrets might have been revealed to casual visitors at Mar-a-Lago. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel, Jack Smith, to investigate those documents at Mar-a-Lago, so there is a special counsel investigating. In the Biden case, the Justice Department has asked the U.S. Attorney in Chicago, John Lausch, to investigate the documents. Lausch is a holdover from the Trump administration. That hasn't been enough.
So I'm saying,
Trump's
see, boy,
supporters, one of his
what do you mean?
spokesmen said that a special counsel should be appointed for the Biden documents as well.
Oh, actually, yeah, there is a special counsel being appointed for the documents.
The chairman of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, James Comer, a Republican of Kentucky, has said that he will investigate how these documents were found and whether the two officials, Biden and Trump, have been treated differently by the Justice Department as it investigates both cases.
That's fair, because actually right now they're treating them super different. But again, like I said, there's not going to be a raid because they didn't ask for Biden to give the documents back. They asked Trump to give them back. They didn't ask Biden that. Maybe that's a question we should be asking. How did he get away with taking these documents? Why did nobody ask about them? Biden's own handling is now under scrutiny. Here are 4 ways could become a... Congress has to investigate this. They are investigating this. Justice Department's awkward position. Yep, they are in an awkward position. The two cases are different because one is more than 11,000. About 100 of the documents seized were classified. Yep, that's not great. Oh, God. A political debating point. Transparency takes a hit. Yeah, he doesn't look transparent anymore. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right. Poor little Biden. Having some trouble. We already watched this one. This was the Twitter files, which we're not finishing anymore. Rip New York State restaurant businesses without gas ranges. Idiots. Shittle. Hey, Vampire Hunter D. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I've never seen that emote before, but I like it. Anyways, where are we? Kevin McCarthy. Epic flip-flop. Did we actually get to see the flip-flop? I don't care about the flip-flop anymore. We're on to the documents. We're gone. We're out of here. So let's see. Let's see what they're
another batch of
saying.
Government documents from President Biden's time as vice president. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed a special counsel to review the matter, and Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is tracking the latest developments.
Who is it? Who is it?
George, good morning.
Are you a woke tard or normal?
Has always maintained
I don't even know what a woke tard is.
Independently. Now, in a dramatic step, he's made the most independent move he could possibly make. He's authorized a serious investigation into his boss, the President of the United States.
As you should. Yeah,
this morning,
let's go.
President Biden's handling of classified documents, the subject of a full-scale criminal investigation by his own Justice Department.
Who got Black Lives Matter tattoos?
Require the appointment of a special counsel for this matter.
Those extraordinary circumstances, a chain of events that began on November 2nd, when Biden's personal attorneys
Look at that. Oh, on November 2nd, they got the documents. Oh,
discovered
no.
at least 10 top-secret documents about a number of foreign countries at the Penn Biden Center, a Washington think tank. Those lawyers contacted the National Archives, which quickly reached out to the Justice Department.
I think we just have different ideas of what you tattoo on yourself. Because I see, like, for me, like, I have tattoos, but every tattoo, I just need it to be, I guess, important? No, that's not right. It's got to have a story to me. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe McRibs have a story for you. Do they? You know, it's fine. You can tell me if you want or you can't. It's fine, up to you. But for me, like, my tattoos have, like, a little story to them. Like, I've got one, you can't see it because I'm dumb. I've got one there somewhere. The angle's not right. But you got it, you know. And then there's, like, one here, one there. Like, I got some there, but, you know, it's stories.
Attorney General Garland, in response, directed the U.S. Attorney in Chicago, John Laus, a Trump appointee, to pursue a preliminary investigation. While that probe was underway, another bombshell. More classified documents discovered 48 days later at Biden's
Boom! Second drop.
home, many of them in his garage.
Oh! Look at that. This is where it was. This is where the Corvette was. I don't know. I don't think that's very secure. I mean, I guess it is secure because the Secret Service is here all the time, but, like, you could say the same thing about Trump.
The FBI went to the location and secured those documents.
As the evidence mounted on January 5th, Laus made a dramatic recommendation to his boss: appoint a special counsel. And this morning,
yeah, that's true.
DOJ told on Thursday.
What I'm hearing from some is Trump's evil, so he can't get away with mishandling classified, but Biden, he's good, so it's okay when he does the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not good either way. Like, if mishandling documents is a crime, then they both committed it. And when two people commit a crime, you are supposed to investigate each person and judge them accordingly. What I will say is that the numbers are not on Trump's side. 11,000 is a lot more than 10, but they did find more. So if they keep finding more, the numbers could even out a little bit. You know, it's like, And technically, like we were covering earlier, Trump's crime is that, he was asked to return the documents and did not. That's his crime. His crime is that they said, hey, you have these documents. We need them back. Please return them at your earliest convenience. And he said, yeah, here you go. And he sent some back. And then they said, yes, that's great, but we need them all back. And then, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then they got steamrolled, and then eventually they had to bust in. They had to do all this other crap. That's the only reason it became a problem. Now, here, the real question is, why did a vice president have classified documents and why were they sitting in his garage next to his Corvette? That's also a crime. We can't investigate one and then ignore the other. The question of the punishment, though, does, kind of get a little muddy there because I don't really know how to judge that, right? Also, what's going on here with this? But I will be right back. I got to take a little break. Don't kill each other in the comments, please. Hello. I'm back. Yeah, croissant. So, sorry, had to take a phone call there. I grabbed some food too. It happens. Shortly after stuff in the house, blah 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 blah. Trump's Mar-a-Lago raid. I know what you mean by timing. Yeah, it does seem a little set up, and I will also remind everybody that Biden has been saying that he doesn't like to talk in front of the Secret Service because he is scared of them. There was like a period of time when he just like did not speak in front of them for a while because he was scared of his own Secret Service. And then eventually they got investigated and we found out that some of them were maybe not there with the best intentions. In fairness, I do want to show both sides. On the other hand, this sounds totally plausible to me. Because he definitely could have taken some documents home to his garage. Then just don't worry, you're not that late. I mean, a little late, but not that late. I'm sorry, I'm just eating a little bit. Sorry.
Thursday, that another classified document was found in a room adjacent to that garage at President Biden's Wilmington home. The new special counsel appointed to determine what took place, veteran prosecutor Robert Hurd,
I'm still in for a while.
formerly the U.S. Attorney for the state of Maryland, also appointed by former President Donald Trump.
This appointment.
We're really doing a deep dive on this document stuff, though.
Commitment to both
because it's worth talking about.
And accountability.
Right. Actually, you know what? Yeah. No, I just came back. I should do a summary. Thank you, General. All right. So, to get us all back in the loop of things. Recently, Biden came forward and said that he had found some documents, not him personally, lawyers, right? That his lawyers had found some documents at his office, the like Penn, Biden, whatever office. He then gave those documents over to the National Archives, the relevant people that needed them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. After some investigation, they found, and by the way, that first thing happened in November. Okay? That's like old news. But we're only finding out now, which is not great on the timing end. Again, trying to be fair here, but like that's not great on the timing end. So they found these documents at this office in November. They didn't say anything about it because obviously elections were literally coming in like 4 days, and they didn't want a repeat of 2016 when Hillary got outed like right at the very end when like what was it, James Comey just sat there and said we're investigating Hillary, and then immediately her results tanked in the election. I still say that was totally it. People over 75 can't participate in presidential elections. Honestly, like I think it should be based on like percentage of the population, but let's not get into that. Right. So they found these documents on November 2nd. Didn't say anything until now. When at the same time, after publicizing that they had found those first documents in November 2nd, they found more documents at his personal home. Then, in Biden's little counter statement, he said it was totally safe because it was next to my Corvette and I lock my garage, which did not become very flattering in hindsight. I don't know if he intended that, but I'm assuming he didn't. What was it? Right. So Biden's trying to cover this up. There's been a special counsel assigned. The House Republicans want to investigate. He just wants us all shoved under the thing. But here's the thing. We're not getting into Vietnam. Don't you stun lock me here. So after all this happened, House of Representatives wants to investigate Biden. A special counsel was assigned by the Justice Department to investigate the documents. And what we found out in the middle of the stream is that Trump's crime here with the documents, and again, there's like a million investigations into Trump, so let's not, kid ourselves with like one of these being the end all be all, whatever the fuck. But the crime that he's accused of committing, or the big one that is different from Biden's, is that he was asked to return the documents, but then ended up losing those documents, or at least just not returning them. Like, he returned some, he did. They asked him for 11,000 or 11,000 plus, and then he returned, I don't know what he returned. He returned basically nothing. And so that's when they had to raid his place, and that's when they found the extra 11,000 documents that they were looking for. So his crime is not returning them. Biden apparently called and gave them back immediately. He notified the proper authorities, and he said, here you go, have them back. But like we were talking about earlier in this stream, essentially what they're saying is, hey, I know I did the crime, and I'm sorry. I apologize for having crimed. However, if you could find it in your heart to forgive me for the crime, that's fine. So what I'm saying is we need to investigate both of them. I don't believe that the punishments are equal because, again, the numbers are not on Trump's side. The numbers just aren't there. But it's worth investigating, because if we want a transparent government, then that means that anybody is treated the same, right? Everybody gets treated the same. And what that means is president, sensitive situation, sign a special counsel. Now, I will remind you that the people that are hopping all over this and being like, yeah, investigate, you can accuse him, were the same people that just a few years ago said that you can't indict a sitting president and you can't accuse a sitting president of a crime because he's a sitting president. So, but, I do want to say that is a hypocritical thing to do, all right? To, on one end, be all over Trump's dick and say that, he can't be accused of a crime because he's a sitting president, and then basically want to lock up Biden while he's a sitting president. Like, if you want him, take him in 2 years, right? Do what you gotta do, but you gotta wait 2 years because he's a sitting president, right? Right? Isn't that what we came to an agreement on? Like, you can't have it both ways. And I'm sorry about that, but you can't have it both ways. Like, let me put it this way. If 3 justices die during this term, there is no way that we are not going to try and shove in as many of the justices that we can, right? Like, we'd be crazy not to. And when it was Obama's turn to sneak in one last justice, another thing about it was supposed to be Merrick Garland. McConnell blocked the shit out of him. But when it was Trump's turn to do the same thing, yeah, it was nuts. Question, USA, do cities' mayors can run for mayor for how many times he wants? It depends on the local constitution, I think. Technically, I don't believe that everywhere has term limits. That's what you're asking about, is term limits? I don't believe, I think it depends on the city. Like, New York City mayor term limits. I can't believe I'm typing this into into YouTube. New York City mayor wins fight to extend term limits. That was 14 years ago. So yeah, there's some term limits, I guess. Yeah, so it varies. But yeah, I guess there's term limits for here and there. Anyways, we were looking at these classified documents. We also dived into the Twitter thing, and boy, that is a fucking shit show. I had no idea. We were in the middle of finding out that the CIA and the FBI most definitely tampered with our social medias, but again, that's not really news considering the NSA has all of your data, right? Like, in Romania, there are like towns and villages who had the same mayor for 25 years. Shit. I mean, that's like our Senate. Like, our Senate is full of people that have been there for like 20 plus years.
Cooperating fully with the National Archives and with the Department of Justice on the review. And again, this was not as it was in Trump's case, the archives desperately seeking the return of materials that Trump was blowing off.
Oh shit, she's saying the same thing I am.
Blowing off those requests and then ultimately blowing off the subpoena to return all those documents. These appear to have been documents that were inadvertently held at the Penn Biden Center, discovered by Biden's attorneys. They notified the White House, which notified immediately the National Archives that these documents were in the wrong place. The archives moved immediately to retrieve them. That appears to be the sum total of it, at least as far as we know. But again, the White House says they are cooperating fully with the archives and with the Justice Department on reviewing the situation. But it does.
Ooh, wait, but she doesn't know about the other documents that they found. The center also was/is used by Penn. Do you mean like Penn State? I mean, Penn, like the University of Penn? What? Who is Penn? Am I lost here? Penn Biden. Yeah, they said Hunter Biden also had access. So if you guys are on the Hunter Biden chain, Pence? No. Oh, no. What? No way. Can we find that out? Pence, New Hampshire, Washington. No. It means Pennsylvania. It means Pennsylvania. What you're saying is Hunter Biden had access to those classified documents. No way. Look, I'm not saying that Hunter Biden had access, but what I am saying is that there's a chance that he probably walked in the building at least 1 or 2 times. Isn't Hunter Biden dead? I don't believe he is dead. I believe you're thinking of his brother, who was the one that died. He's the veteran, and everyone was very sad about it. We already watched this one. Wait, hold on. There's got to be something new that came out about Biden's documents. Also, is it me or is YouTube not leading me to Biden's documents? Right? Lisa Marie Presley, Republicans attack against Biden over. No, never mind. I take it back. Boo boo ba boo ba. Why are we pretending they were also inside of his own private library? Trying to say he never takes it into his own private library and talks to him. They were in a garage. We found out that they were in a garage next to his Corvette. It's not a great place for documents. GOP launched its investigation into classified documents. Nope. I want to hear. Sure. Okay, fine. I want to hear. Let's see today. I want to see today. Is this the special counsel thing again? No, I want to know about the investigations. Yes, this one. Political fallout. What's next? This is all just like, I don't know. Am I really too early on this?
Let's bring in ABC News.
Is there just no news yet?
Correspondent Mary Alice Parks, along with investigative reporter Catherine Fathers.
There might just not be any news yet. Hold on. Let's see what's going on with the investigation. On Twitter. At this point, where did Joe Biden not have classified documents? Sorry, I gotta like that. You gotta like it when it's funny. You just have to. Trending. Never mind. Okay. All right. Hey, Twitter moves back. News. All right, wait, let's try news. No. Everything's breaking. Okay, hold on. Pfizer files? What? Wait, hold on. I don't want to get blocked for this.
To brainwash people. Watch. This is what it looks like when the government and the mainstream news collaborate to brainwash people. Watch this.
Be cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious.
Wait, is she talking about the fact that no. She's talking about the fact that literally all local governments are all the local news networks are owned by like the same company, and they just push out the same script to everybody. Is this just gonna be COVID denial, COVID vaccine denial and shit?
To cut their risk of a heart attack or stroke under new advice for the NHS. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence.
Oh, hey, look at that. They're saying that the mRNA vaccine could lead to cardiovascular deaths. And I'm going to say could, because I do not want to get banned for COVID misinformation, and I know that anything I say right now will definitely be claimed as such. And again, you just don't know. You just don't know, do you? Although, I did get the mRNA one, so you guys, it was so nice knowing you. Boom, boom. Here I am. So much fun. So little time. Alright, anyways, what is it? Today, unemployment is the lowest it's been in half a century. That is a hilarious thing to post on the same day that all those documents got leaked. When I ran for president, the economy was flat on its back. Oh boy, no. This is not going to go well for you. Is Donald Trump Jr. on drugs, or is he just a mess? Okay, alright. So, hold on. If I go to explore, is there really nothing about... Why is there nothing about the fucking files? Alright, okay. It looks like we're just a little too early on the documents thing, so I'm just going to keep looking at document stuff.
As she said, the White House press secretary said that this search by at least the president's advisors has been completed, but there are still some more questions than answers. You heard reporters in there ask about what the president said earlier as it relates to his personal library, a document being discovered there. That differs from the statement.
Okay, wait, so is it a personal library next to his garage?
That the White House
Because he said it was next to his Corvette, and I'm getting confused now.
released, saying that a document was found in an adjacent room. Karine Jean-Pierre couldn't even...
Does he keep a Corvette in his library? Hold on. What's that one that does the AI drawings? I don't care which one. I just need one. Nope. This is not what I want. I just want to make a quick art thing. Why won't you? It's Dolly, isn't it? Here we go. Just do Dolly real quick. What up? I totally have an account for this. No, not logging in. Never mind. I'll see you guys later. Anyways.
And White House correspondent Marielle.
Just imagine a Corvette sitting in the middle of a library. That's all I'm saying. Maybe his garage is like a library. All right. Maybe he like drives the Corvette in, and then there's just walls of bookcases inside his garage. Why would you read in a garage? That's a good question. All right. That is a good question. But why wouldn't you? It's America. You have freedoms. You can do whatever you want. Honestly, at this point, I just want to see a picture of it. I just need to see a picture of where they found it.
Alice Parks joins me live along with ABC News investigative reporter Catherine Falders for more. Catherine, what can you tell us about the special counsel, Robert Hur, and where this investigation goes from here?
Yeah, so Robert Hur is actually a Trump appointee. He left the Department of Justice when Biden became president, but of course, Attorney General Merrick Garland bringing him back in. This is to stay above the fray politically, if you will, saying he was appointed by Trump. He's had this long tenure in the Justice Department. Now, in terms of where this investigation goes from here, you heard Pierre talk a bit about whether there will be subpoenas, whether there will be a grand jury, whether they will try and talk to the president himself. All of those
are questions that we'll probably learn more about down the line. But we do know, as part of that preliminary investigation before the special counsel was appointed, that there were interviews of Biden aides, people who worked for the Obama.
So again, remember, the crime that Trump is being most accused of is that he was asked to return these documents and didn't do it. When Biden wasn't asked to return them and he just returned them anyways, they didn't count it against him. However, neither of them had the ability to declassify things in the way that they thought they could, right? Trump can't do it with his mind, and a vice president can't do it by just kind of sneaking it away. You know? And my question is, what's Biden going to say? What's his reason? Presidents have powers that even Congress doesn't have. Sure they do. Yeah, but again, it's given to the executive, which then means that they delegate it however they want to. And because of all these rules and stuff, it's, complicated how that gets broken up, which is why the executive has the power to declassify documents, but it's not just like the president just wills it into happening. He has to go through a process and sign documents and stuff saying this is declassified now. And specifically the reason for that is so that you can, do whatever it is. Do you know what the Insurrection Act does? You know what? We can check it out. I might as well get a refresher. What Sir said is why I think he doesn't even know the documents were there, because they weren't there. You know what? I think it's too much to say that this is a setup. I will say that he was uncomfortable talking around the Secret Service. And if maybe the Secret Service got access to these places, they could just leave stuff there. But Joe Biden did admit, saying that, yeah, I knew that they were there and they were there. He says he doesn't know what they are, but he's just it's fine.
Biden administration.
Now, don't start being mean to people on my chat, though. Be nice.
In areas that weren't secure. Now, that U.S. attorney who did the preliminary investigation, of course, recommended to Garland that there needed to be more investigating. There's questions about why he believed that. Who had access?
But again, I think that there needs to be more investigating on Obama, too, Bush, maybe even go all the way back to Carter. How many people have documents that they shouldn't have? If it happened to Biden, then it probably happened to Obama too, and then it probably happened to Bush. This just seems like it's a random thing that just keeps happening to these people.
Access to these documents. Did anybody access?
Wait,
recommended
what's this?
To Garland that there needed to be more investigating. There's questions about why he believed that. Who had access to these documents? Did anybody access them while they were at those locations in a not secure area? All of those are questions that investigators will be asking, that the special counsel will be asking as he begins his probe into this.
Okay.
Now, Mary Alice, reporters grilled White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre about the lack of transparency on this issue. How's the White House responding to that?
Yeah, Diana, they absolutely hammered her, wanting clarification here and wanting explanation about the timeline here. One big question is if anyone with the Biden team, any of his personal lawyers, anyone with the White House counsel was aware that there was this extensive review going on around the Biden residence, around other offices, and that other documents with classified markings had been found, why in the world did the president go out earlier this week in Mexico City and refer only to the box of documents found here in D.C. in his office at the Penn Center? I think those are really fair questions. The White House says that they're trying to be transparent, they're trying to do everything by the book, they're cooperating extensively with the Department of Justice, but it's hard to make this argument about transparency when information is coming out.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking may have happened, may not have happened. While looking in that office in the Penn Biden Center, they found those first documents. They said, hey, these documents shouldn't be here. These are clearly going to cause a problem for you. And it was his personal lawyers that found them and said, okay, we should declare it. So they said, all right, let's do it. Let's Ukraine, can I join the EU? Yes. Yeah, no, okay. Well, we did Ukraine a little bit, but maybe we'll go back. But anyways, so Biden's lawyers find this stuff. They say, we need to handle this immediately. So immediately they say, hey, boom, done. Documents immediately turned over. Done. Then they said, hey, listen, if these were here, maybe you have some in other places. And Biden was like, I could see why that might happen. And then he starts sending his team around saying like, all right, find anything you can, go to all my places and do what you do. Right? And so then they go and they find all these documents and they in the first place would be a high crime or a misdemeanor. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like it does seem like it's kind of a misdemeanor. But again, each misdemeanor, right? Because depending on like each one being its own crime, right? Because it's not just taking one classified document. It could be like several classified documents, and then you're not counting that as like 10 together. You're counting that as 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you have to count them all out, and they're all separate counts. You know. No, again, yes, no, I know. Again, we are talking about 10 versus. I mean, I don't know how much the second group had, but again, 10 versus. I don't know, what was it? 11,000. Like, ooh, you know. So, who knows how long this could have been happening for him.
And I think that they're going to continue to be pressed on exactly the timeline when the president knew.
So yeah, so I think that what ended up happening is that this is Biden trying to be proactive and find this and nip it in the bud as quickly as he can. Because he knows that this could blow up into being a huge problem, and he doesn't want that. Because who would want that, right? So to try to cut that off before it starts, he's, having them look for it. At the same time, from what they're saying, it kind of sounds like he didn't know that they were going to find some more. So, I don't know if that means that they just weren't that important. I don't know what the hell's going on. What's the law on classified documents and the penalty for it? Is it a felony or a misdemeanor? All right, you know what? Yeah, you piqued my curiosity too. So, let's see. Classified documents found at a bus stop? Oh, British. It's British. It's British. It's British. All right, classified documents, consequences. Nope, that's the New York Times again. Sorry. All right, let's just check what this says. So, all right, so this is a former Air Force contractor. He pleaded guilty to illegally taking 2,500 pages of classified information. Okay, so this is the most that you could possibly take, I think. Unauthorized removal is a federal crime punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Congress sets the maximum statutory sentence. Sentencing of the defendant will be determined by court. Okay, so I think we got the thing. It's 5. He took 112 classified documents. Oof. Okay. So basically 5 years in prison. And oh, that's the minimum. Oh, that is the minimum. No? Yes. God, this is so confusing. No, I don't want to get rid of that. No, I don't want to get rid of that. No, I don't want to get rid of that. All right, let's just check this. Biden documents. No, you know what? No. Go to this.
Welcome back to Red and Blue. I'm Major Garrett. A special counsel has been appointed to oversee the investigation into President Biden's documents, handled when he was vice president. This morning, before the special counsel was appointed, I spoke with Republican Ohio Congressman and House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan for this week's episode.
Oh, everything's just so old.
Here's part of that conversation. There's been a disclosure of another batch in another location. Yeah. Does that trouble you?
Well, again, I think there's tons of questions. Where's the raid? Where's the pictures? Where's the special counsel? Some have called for that.
Okay, again, the raid is not happening because he gave it in immediately. And again, the crime is that he was asked the documents. But let's keep going. I want to see what happens.
What is a batch?
Why are these all so old? Oh, okay, wait. This is like 49 minutes ago. And this is Bob Woodward. Bob Woodward has the amazing qualification of being the one to break on the Nixon-Watergate thing. So he's also a bit old, but, let's give him the credit.
Andrew Weissman, I want to begin with you about this question of the special counsel. We had your friend Chuck Rosenberg on in our last hour who said it was unnecessary. He pointed out he also believes it's unnecessary in the case of the documents around Donald Trump. What's your view? Was Merrick Garland right to appoint a special counsel around these Joe Biden documents?
Let's see.
Well, I think Chuck is technically right.
Who is this guy?
Unnecessary, but that's a separate issue from whether it's something that the Attorney General had discretion to do and could determine it was warranted.
By the way, Spaceplum, I totally get they picked Jordan just because he loves to cause a fucking chaos. But, like, that kid was just not saying anything real. He was just kind of saying the same shit I've been saying for the last hour or two.
I tend to think that Merrick Garland was right in both situations to appoint a special counsel. It gives the public, as much as he can, an assurance of fairness and balance. And here, the Department of Justice, in both matters, I think is acting responsibly and independently.
Okay.
I think the real focus is on the White House. I think that we still have no evidence whatsoever that the current president did anything intentionally and willfully, let alone, as Mika pointed out, obstructed justice. So the two cases are likely to be quite different in the eyes of the two special counsel at the end of the day.
And Peter Baker, we've been pointing that out this morning and all week, just cataloging the differences in these two cases. Chief, among the differences being that the Biden White House appears to have immediately handed these documents over to the National Archives when they were discovered, rather than obstructing the way Donald Trump and his aides did. But as you talk to your sources in and around the White House, first of all, why did it take so long for the public to learn about this?
That's my question.
It was only a media report that discovered this. And how big of a problem do they view this to be?
Yeah, I
think you mean unintentionally, but I do get what you're saying.
It does not appear, as everybody has said, to be a willful obstruction in the same way that we have.
So I think that's actually what they're talking about here, the willful obstruction, which is that they purposefully try to not return the documents.
Been talking about in Mar-a-Lago, that doesn't mean there aren't important questions, and you're right to raise one of them. They discovered these first documents on November the 2nd. That was 6 days before the midterm elections. They did not tell the public about it. They didn't tell the public about it as Christian.
Because that would have fucked the elections, and they know it. They know it. They know that they would have screwed themselves so much harder if they had said anything.
Reported until this week when they had no choice because the media was going to report. In fact, when the media reported on the first batch of documents on Monday, the White House confirmed it, but didn't mention that they'd already, by that point, found a second batch of documents. They only acknowledged that when there was a new media reporting on that. So they'll tell you that the reason why is they didn't want to sort of put this out in piecemeal. They didn't want to be litigating this in the press while there was still a question about whether there would be a special counsel. They had hoped that perhaps Jack Lausch, the U.S. attorney who was considering this matter for Merrick Garland, would not recommend a special counsel, and so they didn't want to make it a public issue. But
yeah, at this point, I think it'd be too hard to get to intention here because honestly, like, Biden was vice president back in 2016 at the latest, right? I think into January of 2017. So if we're talking about January 2017, he left. That's at least 6 years ago. It'd be hard to prove intention at this point. I mean, they could try to track down like exactly when he got it and how this happened, but this is such an old one that this is just going to take time. Like, they're going to have to really look back and figure out exactly how this happened. But again, we need an investigation. We need to know what happened. And I support investigations every single time. Like, yeah, I mean, like, it matters what documents they take. Like, if there are 300 signatures of some random dignitary, like, it's a little odd, it's kind of weird. Let's be honest, it's a little weird, but it's fine. It's fine. Like they said, some of the things were basically just letters to Trump being like, "Dear Trump, you're the best. Love, Kim Jong-un. Love and kisses." But the point is, like, sure, like, it's a little weird, but whatever. But, like, if those 10 documents are like, hey, this is our closest base to these in this country, we have exactly this much military there and our strength comes in A, B, C, D. Like, that's not great. Like, that's so much worse. So again, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to come out with. It could be just like some, like, I love you, hearts and kisses, lots of love, prime minister of blah, 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 blah. Or it could be, this is all our nukes and this is how you get there and please be kind. It's not nukes. Sorry. No, I'm not going to spread that falsehood. It's not nuclear because nuclear has a different set of like rules and they would have found it immediately. So we know at the very least that it's not nuclear. What we do know is that Biden never got asked to return these documents. He just kind of like disappeared with them. I don't know if nobody ever tracked them down. I am recommending an audit. We should audit the National Archives and make sure that we have everything and then find the things we don't have. Because apparently we didn't know that we didn't have this. Like, come on. So, we don't know. We don't know what the documents have. We don't know what they contained. There's rumors, there's hints, but there's nothing really solid. And until we do know, this is just going to be another kind of whatever thing. Impeach Biden? Is it impeachable? Like, sure, maybe. But again, this is the same question. Like, can you impeach a president for this? Is this impeachable? Does this count as a crime? Are we charging him with a crime over this? Can you charge a sitting president with a crime? Like, So yeah, maybe this merits an impeachment. Maybe we have the votes for it. But what's gonna happen next? Like, is it gonna be enough to kick him out? Is it just gonna be like a ceremonial thing? Is Biden incompetent because he didn't know he had classified documents in his pocket? It was all an accident. I don't know. I don't know if you count that as being incompetent. I mean, he does spend a lot of time there, so maybe, maybe not. Depends. Like, at this point, I think I need to see a picture of like his personal library and the Corvette, purely for science. Purely for scientific reasons. I need to see the Corvette. That's just me personally. I need to see it. I need to know what year it is. I need to know how fast it runs. I need to know if it runs. Anyways.
But that raises still a lot of questions because obviously when you talk about transparency, 2 months went by when they didn't say anything, particularly before a midterm. They knew it would have been damaging to Democrats had it come out.
Yeah, that's not great. Not good look. Bad looks.
Attorney General Harry Litman writes for the
Bad
Los
job.
Angeles Times that the special counsel appointment in the Biden case tells us something new about Merrick Garland.
What
Litman
does it say?
writes in part, quote, "In public forums and in legal circles, there has been an ongoing debate about what role politics and public opinion could play in Garland's decisions related to the Justice Department's investigation of Trump's January 6th actions and the White House documents."
Oh my God, I almost forgot that Trump's still being investigated for that too. Damn. Look, again, it's like, I never said that the documents were a really big deal, but at the same time, like, if we're going to make it into a big deal, then let's just go all the way with it. But there's a lot of stuff that Trump's under investigation from. Like, I forgot about this one. And I literally covered it last week. Damn.
He repeatedly refused to turn over to the National Archives. I think we have an answer now. Garland does not reside entirely in an empyrean realm of the law. He lives and works in Washington, where, as he famously said during the outrageous stonewalling of his nomination to the Supreme Court, "If you want a friend, get a dog." Garland.
Damn. But yeah, he got stonewalled. That's what I was saying. He was going to be one of the Supreme Court justices, and McConnell just blocked him entirely and said, absolutely not. I will not vote on that. That's not happening. And they said it was because Obama had put in too many justices. And then Trump came around and they said, more justices. Oh my God.
To appoint a special counsel in the Biden documents case displays a Washingtonian situational awareness. And
just for clarification on that, on top of that, They were trying to nominate Garland for like 3 months before the elections, and they said it's too close to an election cycle. It won't reflect the will of the people. For what's her face, the lady in red. Anyways, for the what's her name? The latest. No, she's not the latest. The girl who only studied law. I don't remember what her name is. I'm not gonna get into this, but anyways, the point is she only got a month, and they pushed her in like 2 weeks, and they just rammed her down and said, "Nope, we're fitting in one last justice. Fuck all y'all," and it worked. It worked. It went perfectly. What is this about next?
And an acknowledgement of nuanced political concerns. Not bad qualities for the head of a government agency, but a new gloss on the character
Needs to
of
retire,
the
bro.
most
They both
important
need to
Attorney
retire.
General
Like, we don't need
since
any of these people.
Watergate. And of course, every time we mention the word Watergate,
Yeah, I'll
we
check
go
that out
straight
next.
to Bob Woodward. Bob, I mean, personally, knowing these two men, the former president and the president, I believe that this will actually highlight what is so wrong about the Mar-a-Lago case, the willful intent to obstruct, the taking of the documents and placing them at Mar-a-Lago willfully. But what is the bar for a special counsel? And do you think the Biden case met it?
Well, first of all, Mika, there's a great deal to be humble about in this because we don't know all kinds of things there, and leaping to conclusions. There's partial evidence. There's a very inexact chronology. All of this will get down to, though not necessarily legally, but practically and politically, what was the intent? And I think it can be said now, but that may turn out to be wrong indeed, that Biden's intent, he was not trying to conceal these things in a way. In fact, for all we know, it may turn out that there was a Chinese spy who was washing and waxing his Corvette and reading all these documents for years or God knows what. And
Is he on? Whose side is he on? What the hell?
At the same time, there may be nothing like that. So the intent is really important. Now, in the question of Trump's intent, I've spent a lot of time over the years talking to him, done 3 books on him, and I think the business with the documents, frankly, is more of this Trump's view of the presidency. Everything is mine. I do what I want. Only I know. And it's this pattern of going his own way, whether that makes it illegal, whether there's some kind of active obstruction here. There is some evidence of that. So much is not known. And I'm sorry to be so long on this, but the other thing is...
All right, so basically what he's saying is it's all about the intent, and Trump was obstructing, is what he's saying. So because he didn't let them take the documents back, that's the problem.
In our business, the media, it's worth spending
Right?
a moment looking at ourselves, and we can create a furor by labeling it a furor. And if you see this language of surprises, bombshell here and there, this may turn out to be much smaller, or it may turn out to be larger, because what hovers behind...
Okay, yeah, he's saying the same thing I am. It's all the same. It's all the same. Chair or co-chair for the attack Iraq vote. Bro, was he? God, Biden has been on the wrong side of history so many times. Hold on. Somebody asked me for something special, and we're gonna go and do something special. So hold on. Da, 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 da. What is this? Oh?
Thank you, Karina.
When was this?
Thank you. We are
Yesterday?
seeking information, and I appreciate and understand why the press office can only say so
Oh.
much. So help us understand this. Who are the president's personal counsel that the attorney general referred to today?
Yeah.
I have to get, I was asked that question earlier. Let me get back to you. I actually don't have that answer. I think I know who it is, but I want to make 100% clear.
Bob Bauer is one, potentially Dana Remus, James Garland, Robert Lennon. Are
Look,
they the ones that have been
so
contacting the Justice Department?
Look, again, I don't want to, I want to say the right thing from here, so we would have to, I would have to talk to the White
She's
House
being very
counsel,
political about
to
this.
the White House counsel to talk about who is his personal lawyers.
To button this up, the first set of documents were found in November at the Penn Biden Center here in Washington. But why
Okay.
did it take until yesterday and until this morning, apparently, for whoever it was to inform Robert Lausch that that final document was found? Was that because there were press reports earlier this week?
Again,
And the hope was that nobody would find out?
Again,
or was it because
there is a process, an ongoing process that is occurring. We did this by the book. And what I mean by that is the moment that the lawyers discovered that the papers were there or the documents were there, they reached out to the archives, they reached out to the Department of Justice,
Okay.
and they immediately, rightfully so, reached out to them to let them know what they had discovered. And that is the process. That is what we
Here we
that is what
go.
the lawyers did. Again, it's an ongoing process. As you stated in your question, I am limited in what I can say. It is now in the hands of.
This is so political. She's stonewalling the fuck out. And I get it. I get why. Like, you know, she's trying to protect her boss. But, like, I just want an answer. Like, why didn't she come out here with an answer? I guess technically she doesn't have to. No, she does have to defend him personally. That is basically her job. That's wild.
Department of Justice. They are reviewing this, as you know. The special counsel was announced by the Attorney General, and so I will leave it there.
what was the president trying to say when he referenced his Corvette earlier today? Because it sounded like he was implying that because his garage is
The Corvette!
place for his car, the documents were safe. And therefore, if it was safe for the car, it was safe for the documents. Is that what he meant?
Look, I'm going to just leave his statement as is. I think your colleagues.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you. I don't hate her. I think she's trying her best. And this is a hard position to be in. Like she has to defend her boss. And, you know, she knows that they're coming for him. She knows that they're going to ask these hard questions. And she's trying to be as political as she can. You know, at the same time, like, you know, you have to have these answers. But, like, damn, you know? Like, what's this? Is this the thing about the Iraq War? I'll take a look real quick. So when this is involved for the Iraq invasion, help with the march to war. Okay, I'm gonna take a closer look at that later. I'm glad you sent me that. That's pretty interesting.
Was having a back.
But to be honest, I don't have any doubt that Biden has made the wrong decision in a few, if not more cases. Let me put it this way. Biden is not a Boy Scout by any means. All right. He's made lots of mistakes. And I think he knows that more than anybody. But, you know, he's the president we got. And we're trying to support him however we... Never mind. No, we're not. But the point is that, you know, here we are. And technically, this could be avoided by what I keep referencing in all of these sessions, which is ranked choice voting. You don't have to go for the extremist candidates. You don't have to go into a bipartisan system like we have right now, where it's literally two parties and nothing more. Because if you vote for a third party, you are throwing away your vote mathematically. So we could actually have a fair election system where we get someone that we actually all like and not someone that is liked by, like... Let me put it this way. I think Trump, on a good day, was liked by 20% of the population. Then there was another 30% that was tolerable of him and generally just, you know, agreed that having him in was better than having in the opponent. And then there's the other 50% that were just vehemently opposed. And because we're stuck in a bipartisan system, the side that was opposed to him just had to put somebody in that would be able to beat Trump, but not somebody that was good, right? Like, out of all the people that they chose to go up against Trump, I really was not liking Biden. But they said he's the only one that can win over both sides. He's the only one that can bridge the gap. And I'm sitting there and it's like, is bridging the gap the best we can do? Like, there are people starving right now. Like, we have poverty, we have homelessness, we have all these problems right now, and like, we're not doing anything. It's not a cure-all, nor will it take money out of politics. I understand that. But ranked choice voting is a way to start fixing the elections, right? Because elections right now are broken, and you're only going to get two parties that are not interested in actually fixing problems. They're just interested in re-elections. They're interested in how they can get themselves back in power, not how to fix anything that's actually going wrong in this country. And as long as they keep focusing on that, they're going to keep catering to all the money and all the power that they can. You know, because at the end of the day, your vote, while it matters, is constantly being influenced, right? It's constantly being bought by one side or the other. And like, you know, there's certain, I don't know, societal bribes, I guess, that we're getting. You know, like, we're getting some people that are just saying, oh, good night, General, thanks for stopping by. We're just getting these people that are basically working for their own self-interest. They take whatever money they can from whoever they can. And then later they turn around and say it's our fault because we're not recycling enough. Right? Like, come on. That's not a way to do a government. But with ranked choice voting, you could at least get more parties in there. You can get people that are not as extreme on both sides. And you can start getting a more middle ground. And maybe from there, we can start actually making policies that help people. Like, again, if elections were mandatory for every person, then even the homeless would vote. And if the homeless vote, suddenly you have to cater to the homeless vote, which means suddenly it matters to you that your city is building all this architecture that is meant to hurt the homeless people. You know, like, it's a hard place to be in.
Back and forth with the
But
president.
yeah, Karine Jean-Pierre is really holding her on here. This
You
is
could read the
actually
transcript of what was asked of him and why he responded that way. I'm just not going to get into specifics.
And you talk about
pretty interesting.
Being transparent. Who's we, and what is the definition of transparent in this case? Is it the lawyers being transparent legally with the archives and the Justice Department, or is it the White House writ large being transparent with the general public?
So number one, and I've said this multiple times already, we take this very seriously. The president takes this very seriously. He was not aware that the records were there. He does not know what is in the documents. Again, classified information,
or so he says.
Documents he takes very seriously. When they were discovered, and this is the right thing to do, right? His lawyers reached out immediately to the archivists. They reached out to Department of Justice to let them know that the papers or the documents assisted.
The archivist or the Justice Department? Because the Attorney General this morning said that the attorneys reached out to the archives. It was only later in December when the second batch was apparently found that then they were reaching out to the Justice Department.
I will leave it to what the Department of Justice is laying out. What we are saying that we reached out to the archivists, we reached out to the Department of Justice. That is.
See, because they're trying to find holes, and I don't know what's going on.
What is the right thing to do in this case, and not and so I can finish here.
Yeah.
What has been transparent in this as well.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Like, she's trying her best to answer without answering, which I guess makes a good point because honestly, Biden's just gonna have to address this at a certain point, and. This is one of those things where it's like it's legitimately above her pay grade. And what that means is, unfortunately, even though her entire job is to communicate this to the public, she has to defer this to the president because this is not something that should be being addressed by her. He needs to come out and he needs to say something, or else it makes the entire executive branch look bad. Like, at a certain point, they were asking her, like, who else is involved in this? I don't know. And that's the question, like, who else is involved in this? And why haven't we just done an audit of the archives at this point to find out what's missing?
Well, is that the White House counsel has laid out in detail on Monday to all of you.
Not everything, Karine, and you know that.
First of all, I can't talk about this, right? Because it is the Department of Justice is reviewing it. There is a review happening, Ed, right? You know this. We just heard from the Attorney General. There is a review. I am limited in what I can say to this.
Could Richard Sauber perhaps come here?
I think you should reach out to the White House counsel.
We're reaching out on a constant basis.
Okay,
So why not have them come here to the
I am
room
saying
take
to you
questions?
that we have put out lengthy statements, and you can reach out to them as you all have been doing.
Gosh, she's
and
trying.
Leave it there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just
Why not have them come and answer the questions?
They have been talking to you all pretty regularly the last couple of days. They have put out lengthy statements on this. I just read out what Richard Sarver had to say.
Is this?
And I would refer you to the White House counsel. I am limited in what I can say because the Department of Justice, we see them as being independent when it comes to these types of issues. And so I'm not going to go beyond what the president said.
This is before they assigned a special counsel, but this is wild. Okay, all right, hold on. Is there more breaking news? What is this? Breaking news? 49 minutes ago. State Department slammed over efforts to rein in Iran. White House refuses to negotiate with Congress on debt ceiling. Sounds about right. Okay, but there's no... I just want to see more about the documents. Oh, hey, this was 2 hours ago.
Aside from the special counsel, aside from this review, I just have a question about processing classified documents and their handling, because I think there's some confusion.
Oh boy, what's going on with this quality?
What is the process?
Hold on, give me a second. I want to see if this is just...
To make sure that classified
Is this really just the quality of this? All right,
documents
okay, my bad.
taken when a president or vice president leaves office, what's the protocol, or is this sort of just, a self-review system?
It's a good question. I would, on the process and how that works, I would certainly refer you to the White House counsel's office. They would know that. They can walk you through that. My colleagues there, and I know many of you.
I just need her to stop avoiding.
In touch with my colleagues in the last 24 hours, in direct touch, and answering many of your questions. So I would refer you to them on the specific process, so that they will certainly guide you in the right way.
But as far as you know, is it ever okay for classified documents to be mixed with personal evidence?
What I can say, what I can say is what the president has said before, what I have said multiple times. We take this very seriously. The president takes classified information, classified documents very seriously. But look, I've said this before. We have addressed this issue multiple times at length. And we have been fully cooperating with the department.
Okay, so it's just more of the same. She just says we're all cooperating. We're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. I can't tell you more because I don't know more.
And now we will be doing the same with the special counsel's office, just to be prudent here and just to make sure that we are consistent. I would refer you anything that is related to this, as it relates to the review, to the Department of Justice or my colleagues at the White House counsel office. And we see it as the best way to move forward. We want to respect the process.
Is anything happening here?
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refer you to the Department of Justice.
You're confident he followed whatever protocol was in place?
Again, this is something that he takes very seriously.
So she's saying, I'm confident he did the right thing because he always does the right thing, is what they all say until they get caught. I don't know. We don't know what happened here, and that's the problem. Like, we're not going to know. I keep thinking that there's going to be a bombshell that drops at some point where they're going to be like, this is what it was, but we're just not going to know. We're not going to know today. We're not going to know what happened. Let's see. Has anything come out, like, in the last, few hours, maybe? Like, today? DOJ appoints special counsel, ABC News. What's next? People know I take... Was this his response?
Now to the Biden presidency. A special counsel now investigating the findings of Republicans, also calling for Congress to look into what happened
Robert Hur, a veteran prosecutor who served under former President Trump to investigate President Biden's handling.
So this is the special this is the special guy. This is the special counsel. Robert
A
Hur.
veteran prosecutor who served under former President Trump to investigate President Biden's handling of classified material.
It was in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
President Biden confirmed to reporters yesterday that documents marked classified were found in a locked garage at his home in Wilmington, Delaware.
Yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week,
Why?
no,
Why did
I
he
take
say
classified
that?
documents and classified material seriously.
The documents were from his time.
What a self-report! My
Earlier
God.
this week, the White House revealed that in November, Mr. Biden's lawyer had found 10 documents marked classified at the Penn Biden Center in Washington,
There's
D.C.
10 here, and then how many in the second place?
In December, a second batch of documents was discovered at his Wilmington home, and then on Thursday, his lawyer told the Department of Justice about another document also found there.
Did he know that these documents had been removed, and then when he found them, he gave them back? So what was the length of this period of unauthorized retention, and was it intentional?
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy called for a congressional investigation.
This is what makes America not trust their government.
The president's lawyers say they immediately.
He's what makes America not trust their government. But yeah, no, I agree. Look, this needs to be investigated. We need to find out what happened here. We need to understand. Because
turned over every document marked classified.
I don't care that he gave it all in the second he found it. I want to know why he had them, and I want to know why he was allowed to get it. And I want to know the same thing for Trump. Like, it's not like it goes both ways. I need to know. Transparency means everybody. Everybody gets investigated. Everybody gets looked at. Everybody gets all that stuff. All right, but with that, I am going to call it here. I think I've been on for like 4 hours in total. What with that little restart we had. I am planning on doing some self-care stuff. I know that not everybody's interested in that, but I am still planning on doing some self-care stuff. We're going to talk about some pyramids. We're going to talk about some other stuff. It's all right. It's cool. I like it. But if you guys are interested, tune in next time. I'm going to see if I like pair it up with Minecraft, I think. Everybody loves Minecraft. I found a good way to kind of talk about it. So it'll work out. But I will talk to you all later. Take care of yourselves. Say something nice to one of your parents. I don't know. Call a loved one. Tell them you love them. Anyways, take care. I'll talk to you later.